1967, huh?
Oh, what a hit on Dunham by Switowski.
I think I made him shit himself.
What is up, everyone? DJ Anubis here with you on the Metal Time Radio podcast with my great friend and co-host, Big Mike, doing our yearly thing, the NFL 2026 NFL Draft. I am the resident Denver Bronco fan. He is the resident Pittsburgh Steelers fan. but we're here to talk about everybody in the NFL, all the teams, give our thoughts, our insights, even our big boards. How are you, my friend? Thank you again for joining me this year.
Oh, thank you for having me. I feel fantastic. What's a quarterback? I don't know what a quarterback is. I don't have a quarterback. I don't know if I need a quarterback. Let's just run the ball.
Well, this is not a very good quarterback draft per se, at least in terms of the first round grades anyway. But I think we're both on the same page that we don't think the Raiders are going to pass on Mendoza.
I would be if they traded. The only way they'd pass on him is if they traded that pick. It would take a historic haul, and it's not happening. I don't think it's not happening. Yeah. Now that I said that, it's happening. I've doomed us all.
Well, you might have doomed the Raiders because they have a tendency to do that to themselves anyway.
Yeah, he's a good prospect.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they had an amazing year. Like, just they were hands above everybody else. Just so good. So good.
Yeah, I was surprised Miami played them as tough as they did in the national championship game.
Mm-hmm.
I felt bad for Miami because almost any other year they probably would have won it.
Yeah. But yeah, we're going to be going through, and as we did last year, because obviously you have to be careful when doing YouTube and doing the live draft. You have to be careful how much of the draft you're showing because I don't want to get shut down. So we're going to be just showing when the selections happened, and we'll pull it off, and Mike and I will talk a little bit about the choices of the trades or the picks that are made. My Broncos currently don't have a first-round draft choice. We did away with that to get Waddle to come to Denver, which I'm very happy about. So unless they do something crazy and manage to finagle their way back into later the draft, great. But if not, that's fine too. I'll be giving my thoughts on the late draft picks that we might have and who I think we should probably take. But let's take a real quick look at Mike's big board. And, you're not going to see too many unfamiliar names. A lot of the familiars that even with other drafts expert pundits, it's about the same. A lot of these are top choices going into the draft. Any thoughts on your list here? Anything you want to point out?
Yeah. The first thing is this is with positional value included, because if my list did not care that Fernando Mendoza played quarterback, I would have Jeremiah Love at the top. However, I think it's kind of an exercise in futility to not do positional value because that's the world that we live in, right? You'll hear me talk about a little bit later how there's a reason why second-round quarterbacks don't really exist anymore. If you're a second-round quarterback, you're really become a first-round quarterback most of the time, right? Because of the position that you play. There's a reason why you don't see tight ends drafted number one overall, even if they're the best player or the best talent in their class, like Vernon Davis was in his, like so on and so forth. So Mendoza, he has to get the bump. He's probably a top 5 guy anyway, and he plays quarterback. Jeremiah Love is probably one of the most enjoyable prospects to watch. Sonny Styles is a future All-Pro. Arvell Reese is a guy I absolutely love. I have David Bailey at 5. I have him significantly lower than a lot of people do, and we'll get into that later. I do have Jordan Tyson over Carnell Tate. And I do have Caleb Downs significantly lower than a lot of people do. Almost everybody, I would say. And I have Caleb Banks way higher than most people. And
you can see that's where the asterisk, because that was the one that stood out to me. But I do agree with you. I think Banks with the Florida team wasn't like amazing, but he was amazing for them. He was an incredible impact on their defense. So I do agree with you. I think he's rated lower than he probably will be. He'll probably be a better standout than most of the deal.
And you know what? I will just share some of my notes because Caleb Banks is one of the players I have the strongest opinions on. And so if you watch his tape, he is incredibly violent. And he beats the shit out of people. And he played through injuries. He had a down year, but he rushed back to play in the last 3 games. The limited tape on him, you just watch him and your eyes say, that's a first rounder. And while his medical is a concern, the lack of production is only congruent when he's been hurt. And in a draft class like this, where there's a lot of really good players, but only a handful of great players, I think this is the draft where you gamble on a guy like him. Because there's a timeline where he doesn't get hurt, and he's a top 3 or top 5 pick. So I think that for Caleb Banks, I like him a whole lot more than Caden McDaniel, than Lee Hunter, than some of the other defensive line prospects. And honestly, the only reason I didn't have him above Peter Woods for the ranking is just because of the injuries. So I have Peter Woods ranked higher than him if you want to play it safe. But for the big board, for how I view things, I want Caleb Banks. He's going to be a steal. So that is the one that kind of stands out. And there's a reason why when you put that asterisk, I was like, oh my God, did I get his position wrong? It's like, no, he's on the D line.
That was the one thing I said, ooh, saucy, spicy. Yeah. But I agreed with it. I thought that I agree. I saw him play a few games last year, and he was quite an impact, and that's what you want. And again, as you said, if you're, despite some of the concerns, like that's a risk that I'd probably take if you really need that position, because he's a hell of a player when he's healthy. So
yeah, I think there's a scout that talked to, or I think it was an NFL executive that said most top 50 prospects would have shut it down, not risked anything. Said look at the tape from last year, and he didn't do that. The guy, Caleb Banks is a football player. The quote that I have. You sound like a dick if you quote yourself, right? But at the risk of sounding like a dick, when I was watching him play, I was like, oh my God, he runs at people like he's Conan the Barbarian. And I was like, oh my God, he's Conan the Barbarian. So Caleb the Conan the Barbarian. He's just an easy guy to root for. He plays the brand of football that I think a lot of us like, but he's really, really good. And I don't think that we should discount that coming into this year, he was viewed as a potential high round pick until the injuries.
Correct. So, yep.
Definitely rooting for him. If it's true, I've seen some speculation that he falls out of the first round. I'll feel terrible for him because I do think that injuries, even with what they are, I do think that he should be a first round pick.
I'm trying to remember, because I remember, way back, McGahee, he hurt himself in the championship game, but he was still taking the first round, right?
Let me check. Yeah, he popped his.
It might have been later in
ACL.
the round, but I thought for sure he still made it in the first round, but maybe I'm wrong.
I believe.
Either way, he still did very well in the NFL. So.
He had a wonderful career. He was a first round pick by the Bills, 23rd overall, and that was really controversial because that was around an ACL was still a career ending injury. It was viewed as so.
All right. Well, as I talked about off stream before we jumped on, so I did my big board, but I did it differently. I just went with the first 15 picks, and so. When people look at it, they're going to think, oh, man, you got this guy rated. It's not really based upon whether or not they're rated over one another. It's just where I feel that team is going to go. And I did do the rest beyond 15, which we'll talk. I know that Mike has his own opinions of who's going to be drafted where, but this is where I'm at right now with the first 15 picks. So this is where I see these teams. They all have different needs, but some I feel like are a little more than others. Again, this doesn't mean that I really necessarily feel like Tate is better than Tyson, but just given what we have and what they might go with and the type of receiver they're looking for. So like the Jets, I might see them more taking the Tate, but then you're not going to really hurt yourself if you take Tyson either. So it just depends on what they want to do. I've heard people say, like you said, Jeremiah Love, the best running back in the draft. But after that, after his teammate, it drops off significantly. So people are saying, well, Jeremiah's just too much of a talent to pass up. So maybe that's what they do. I think they have other needs that are above that right now, because I do think they have a decent running back pool, unless they lost them. Haven't really paid attention to their backfield. But Again, this is just how I kind of see what each team has a specific need. They usually have like 4 different areas they want to address. You see, I've got, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it, Maigoa, the tackle. So again, with like Arizona, they say, hey, these guys could probably use a running back or a wide receiver. But I'm like, they can't block worth shit. So
it's the problem is, and so the way that you did your I'll call it the mock board, the way that you did your mock big board, I don't necessarily see a lot that I disagree with. I would imagine that Caleb Downs stays in the top 10, but if he's been, I've seen him mocked at 7, 9, and 10, and so if, for instance, Mansour Delane rather, if he goes there, and that's around where I have him going, I actually could see Caleb Downs dropping. The issue, because you're talking about Francis, the tackle, he's an amazing prospect. He's a right tackle, and so one of your spicier picks, and one that I actually like, is having Vega Ione go up that high. He's the best offensive lineman in this draft class. Like, if you throw out positional worth and all of that, pound for pound, he's the best offensive line.
I think he's another one too, where at his position, once you get past him, it's almost downhill from there.
There's a couple other guards who I think have 2nd round grades. And they're pretty. Basantis is a guy who's a fringe 1st round pick to some analysts. So there are a couple other guards. There's more guards than running backs or tight ends. Well, maybe tight ends is a stretch, but I do think that there is a chance that Vega's getting mocked a lot to Pittsburgh. I don't think he's going to be there. He's getting mocked a lot to Baltimore, who they need to replace some interior linemen. I think he might not even be there. I believe Baltimore's picking at 14 or 15. He might not even be there. So I don't know if he's going at 5, but I do know there's a world in which your big board makes a lot of sense. I just wish, and actually one of my main takeaways, because as we get a little bit older, we're not able to hold all of the thoughts as solidly as we once used to. The older I get, the more notes I have to take. But one of my main takeaways as we're going to be talking about this draft is arm length. Because the reason why Francis isn't viewed as a left tackle is because he has really, really, really short arms. And I think he was going to be a great right tackle. I know his floor is super high because at the bare minimum, he will be a mauler at guard. But that talk of arm length that scouts, they do believe in, that hits Ruben Bain, that hits some edge rushers. That's all over this draft class. And so one of the things when I was going through all of these different profiles and watching tape and all of that, I was like, we're like 12 inches of arm away from having an elite defensive line, offensive line, edge rushing draft class. But it just is what it is. And I next year I might try to do my big board the way that you did. I might try to do the hybrid big board and the hybrid selection. That's interesting.
Well, it was kind of fun because, I was looking at each team just, quickly as I was running through to kind of get my list together. And I'm like, all right, so they need, there was like 4 different positions they were looking at. And so I said, all right, well, one, I'm going to go with like who is like, as you would say, who's like rated higher at the, each position at that point. And I say, well, then I try to evaluate on how I would approach it because, again, Arizona probably has a lot of different needs, but at the same time, I know them and Detroit. These are teams that are like starved for a good offensive line. We talked about Josh Allen and Buffalo. I don't know what they're going to do, but it's scary to think that
something wrong.
You have to
is what they're going to do. Sorry,
and you're going to find this area interesting too because I think at 9, again, I have Kansas City taking Fano. Now, a lot of people say, well, they need a receiver, running back, whatever. But I'm like, dude, Patrick carried your team last year. He got killed behind that line.
And as soon as when he got hurt and he was out, they went from fringe playoff team to how the fuck do they ever score 21 points? So
Right.
I don't disagree with it. Fanu is even though he plays right tackle, he is somebody. He has some. Actually, let me pull up my notes on Fanu because I remember. Yeah,
it's probably the only thing I didn't have time to really do is to see if anybody was versatile or not. I know sometimes that can happen with certain linemen.
So you'll love this. The 360-pound mauler, Caden Proctor, is the one with the most left tackle experience, and he's viewed. I have him as the third tackle. I almost put him as the first tackle because he can play left tackle. Fanu, he played. Now, in fairness to Fanu, in 2023 he did play some left tackle. And I know I sound like a broken record, Mike. Do you just think that right tackles don't matter? No, I love right tackles. However, most of the time they're not the ones blocking the other team's best pass rusher. The blind side. That's why you have that matchup, right? It's football 101. Quarterback's blind side is over there, so that's where you put the best pass rusher. So you put your best pass blocking or tackle. Yada yada yada. We get it. Now the thing with Fanu is he's super athletic, but the knock on him is that he needs to gain muscle, right? That's the consistent knock. That at 308, it's not going to be enough, especially if he is at right tackle, because then you have to run block and all of that. I think he's a freak. I don't think he needs to gain like 20, 25 pounds of muscle. I think that he's naturally strong, and I think that he's so athletic that if he just gains some weight, I think he'll be fine. I don't know if Spencer is a top 10-ish pick in a lot of drafts. I know he likely could be one here. I like
somebody
him
on the pregame on NFL Network. They actually had Fano going over Malgoa or Morgoa, whatever his last name is.
I
you disagree?
See. I could see it. I think that like if in the world where they're both right tackles, give me Francis. But if we're doing well, Spencer could be a left tackle, then that's fine. But the best left tackle is Caden Proctor. So there's a way, like when you do draft analysis and projections, you have to deal with the fact it's called cognitive dissonance. You have to deal with your own cognitive dissonance, and they're all gonna be, the only real guy that I've seen mocked tackle that I've seen mocked in the first round that I don't like as a prospect is Blake Miller. And you could even sell me on Blake Miller. There's Max Ahina Akor. He is incredibly athletic. A lot of people have him. When I did my first run through, I had him just outside of the first round. Now, this was months and months and months ago. I think I have him mapped to, let's see here. Where do I have him going? 1 second. I have him mocked to 20 to Dallas because he's a Cowboy. Dallas marches to the beat of their own drum on offensive linemen, and it always works. Dating back to Frederick at center in the first round, and everyone thought that he was a second or third rounder to what they did last year, and that pick is looking pretty decent. Max is incredibly gifted. They do a lot of things well. If I was a Cowboys fan, I'd be so frustrated. They do a lot of the very most vital things a team that needs to win. Well,
Yeah.
they do. They do it. And then they fuck up a lot of things that are really almost impossible to fuck up, and they shoot themselves in the foot every single year. They did it again with the pick and stuff. Fucking morons. But it is what it is. So Max is kind of like in a stronger or more traditional class. I don't think that he would be going at 20. If he went in the first round at all, I think it would be much later. But again, this is a very unique draft class. And so I view him kind of like how I view when we talk about Arvell Reese versus Bailey. I have feelings. And so in a draft class like this, give me the guy who is more gifted just in general. Because
I'm going to give you mine real quick because we've got the draft starting in about 4 minutes. I want to give you my picks for Denver in the later rounds because right now I went with no trades or anything. I just went with what was there. So for round 2, pick 62, which would be our first, I had Denver taking Max Clary tight end. Your thoughts?
That pick would make sense based on your team's needs. He's kind of the Swiss Army knife that Sean Payton uses. If I were looking for a tight end for Denver, I would probably prefer Stover.
He was one I was looking at, but by the time
there's a reason why I prefer him because
I mean, overall, Sadiq would be like the grand finale, but he's not dropping that far to worry about.
No. By the way, I love that kid, Sadiq. I love the shit out of that kid. Great.
All right,
great
pick
talent.
108. So we've got 2 picks in the 4th.
Yeah.
Pick 108. I took Tim Keenan III, a defensive tackle.
I'm never going to lie to the audience. I am not incredibly familiar with that prospect.
All right.
Could you tell me a little bit about him? What caught your eye?
I don't have much information. I probably should have pulled more up. I was just kind of going through a list. But
okay, I got you.
But how about the position? Do you feel okay with the position? Because again,
the position, your defense is loaded, but that's a spot where you always want a lot of depth.
We had some issues at times with stopping the run. So it's something I think we have to shore up next year for sure.
100%.
Pick 111. I took Dalen Everett from a cornerback.
Oh, now him, I actually do know a little bit about. I'm not sure.
We got rid of Shithead that I didn't like so much, and Neko and I didn't like him that much. He kept fucking up last year. So.
Wait, who did you get rid of?
Who was it? God damn it. I forget his last name, but he always had penalties constantly. He would trip over himself all the time.
I think I've heard some rants about him amongst my friends. So this is the gentleman from Georgia, correct? That cornerback, Dalen Everett. I think. Yeah. Okay. So he's 6'1". He's 190 pounds. I'm looking at his profile right now. I'm seeing him mocked.
Riley Moss. He's the one that we.
Riley. Yeah, Riley Moss is dead. So I am seeing Dalen Everett mocked a decent amount around the composite big board. And shout out to NFL mock draftdatabase.com, by the way. They're a very useful tool for people like us. And a really fun tool as well. So we're big fans and supporters. I think that if he fell to you, he's mocked around going a little bit earlier than that. So if he does slide, like he's being picked at 102. I'm seeing him also get picked around in the 80s and 90s. One of these I'm seeing him getting picked ahead of Malik Muhammad. I don't know if I agree with that. That would be a solid pick. He's not a physical specimen. They've probably got as much out of him. It's kind of like the old knock on Crimson Tide players with Saban. Other than them being a rookie, haven't they maximized their coaching, right? And so, but as a depth player, I think he's fine. And he might have, I don't know, the 6'1" is nice. The length is nice. It's a reasonable pick. I do have a little bit of a pedigree bias, so it makes sense to me.
Real quickly, this is going to be a home pick for me just because I'm a Virginia Cavalier fan. So I talked to you offline about running back. So I had us taking Jamari Taylor, the running back out of Virginia, who was actually pretty dynamic. One of the few highlights from our team, even though we did have a really good year. But I really liked him as a versatile back for us. So I don't know. What are your thoughts? Do you know much about Taylor at all?
I saw a little bit of him when I was trying to find other notable running backs in this class. I think that he is a guy who has enough ability he could be more than just a special teamer, I'm in the league for 3 years, out of the league in 3 years type of guy.
Especially since he'd probably be like a 5th round pick. So, it's not like
there. He is, running backs surprise people. We're going to sit here and talk about how there's only 2 running backs. I guarantee you there's a Pro Bowler, at least one of the Pro Bowler other way. And so real quick, just for the audiences, we'd always do this at the beginning. Our criticisms are not because we hate these kids. We actually tend to be way more positive and uplifting than a lot of other shows. We're rooting for these people. Like, we're old, so we actually celebrate the fact that they're on stage getting stoked or whatnot. We blame bad coaching a lot for players failing. Not that accountability doesn't exist, but
that's true.
We've watched the Cleveland Browns exist for a long time. There ain't no way all those players that they drafted in the first round were all terrible. All right. So any comment that you think might be like a sideways comment or whatever, it's not. If we're being mean, which is rare, because bullying early 20-year-olds is weird. And if you like doing that, you're weird. Stop doing that. If we're going to be rude or mean, we will be there will not be a mystery. I promise you. Like, for instance, I'll give you an example. Fuck Deshaun Watson. We will always say at the start, by we, I mean me, I will always say near the start of the show, fuck Deshaun Watson. I will sign off with saying fuck Deshaun Watson. All right.
Let's take a peek in, see what's going on.
That is Daniel Jeremiah, and this is the commissioner of the National
We're in
Football
Pittsburgh
League
this
coming
year.
To the stage with a terrible
tackle him, Cam. We don't like that.
To provide a little bit of booing support here in the Commonwealth. We send things to the stage to get things started.
The Squealers.
The Pittsburgh Steelers, sir.
Here we are.
I'm not getting my terrible towel out until we pick.
We have over 300,000 people. Let's go. It's here. There you go.
He is sweating
Welcome
already.
To the 2026 NFL Draft. We are proud to be here in a city built on grit, built on steel, and home of the one of most dominant franchises in history.
You hear that, Anubis?
Blah, 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 blah.
Lombardi check.
Super Bowl champion Pittsburgh Steelers.
That's right. Cheer us, peasants.
But tonight we're going to celebrate Western Pennsylvania heritage. And as you can see, I didn't come alone. Steelers captain, 8-time Pro Bowler and Defensive Player of the Year, TJ Watt.
Future first ballot Hall of Famer.
And the heart and soul of the Steelers, a captain. The 2023 Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year, Cam Hayward. Take it away, Cam.
Pittsburgh, make some noise!
They like him a whole lot more than Goodell.
This is Steelers football. Tough, physical, and built to last. But everything we do today is built on the standards set by the legends before us. Let's bring out the men who paved the way to greatness. A Hall of Famer, a true shutdown corner, a piece of the steel curtain, Mel Blount.
I know there's a lot. By the way, he's in his 70s. He does not look it. I think he's
So what is this? What are they doing here?
It's the open. Every year they do the opening ceremony with the host city.
Some Super Bowl MVPs, Liz Swan and Hines Ward.
Hines Ward, who should be in the Hall of Fame.
Lynn Swan.
Yeah, these youngins don't know nothing about Lynn Swan.
Nope.
And now we got to talk quarterbacks. 2 quarterbacks, 2 eras, 1 standard, Super Bowl champions, and legends of the city. Ben Roethlisberger.
Not sure if I'd be bringing him out on stage.
Why?
Chat, if you know, you know. If you don't know, Google.
And 1 more, Terry Bradshaw.
4 rings.
I only know him from Cannonball Run.
Shut the fuck up. You shut the fuck up. Y'all started Bobby Brister. I don't want to hear shit.
Football. Go Steelers.
Bubby, don't be busting on Bubby, man.
I actually like Kyle Orton-esque franchise.
Just gotta get the keys to the Ferrari, Bubby. Don't crash it.
Of stars, we will welcome into the National Football League starting tonight. Pittsburgh, this is a moment you all been waiting for. Yins ready? All right.
Sheep pop for the crowd.
2026 NFL Draft is officially open. The Las Vegas Raiders are on the clock.
They'll always be Oakland.
And do not adjust.
I'm always going to call them Oakland.
It is-
It's just ingrained in me.
Yeah, and because they keep going back and forth, it's like they never like really
Establish.
Yeah.
I just,
Now I'm assuming they'll probably never leave Vegas at this point with all the money they dumped in there. But so I think we're pretty much on the same page. It's going to be Mendoza. I mean, something
It
crazy
should
would
be.
have to happen.
Yeah.
But dude, could you imagine how crazy if it did? Because it would just tear up the draft board at that point.
it would be chaos. So let's I do feel bad for Mendoza. I'm not the first person to say this, but because we've known he's going to be first for so long, it's like people almost don't even talk about him. So as a prospect, does he have a great arm? No, he has a good arm. Does he have great athleticism? No, but he has more than enough. He gets comped a lot to different players. Pardon me. I see Joe Burrow in him. A little bit of athleticism, mental game is his strong suit, can hit any throw on the field. He's not going to wow you with incredible physical talent. He's not a Josh Allen and Andrew Luck or a Cam Newton. He's also not a Chad Pennington either.
I think the one thing, who's their coach now?
For the Raiders, I just called them Oakland again. I believe they got the I forget his first name. It's Kubiak. It's Clint. I always want to. It's because you have the Kubiak brothers.
That's not bad. I mean,
it was a really good hire. I was actually shocked that they hired him.
Yeah, I could see Mendoza being just like a Joe Burrow heir apparent in a way. But, they're probably going to work him in slowly. I don't think they want to rush him out there unless they're just ready to go and let it fly, which, they might do.
Yeah. They're going to let him compete with Cousins. They signed Cousins, so we'll see.
Oh, yeah. So Cousins, is he still making a lot of money?
Yes, actually, yes. He signed.
That's the one thing that I keep saying is like Cousins just his claim to fame is just stealing money from every team that he goes to.
Award-winning.
What's up, Bright Roar? How's it going, buddy?
Oh, that's right. I need to pull up the actual feed as well. Because the comments aren't going to come in on our side, right?
Well, they comment here, but I can put them on here, but I don't want to cover you up. Well, there you go. Some will pop up there. So
okay, that's my goat. It's my goat. Bright Roar is a known John Elway enjoyer. He's a huge Chicago Bears fan. He has some Panda Express. We were just talking about how fucking destructive it would be if Oakland did not. I'm just calling him Oakland. I don't care. If Oakland did not take Mendoza or traded the pick, which absolutely would never happen, of course, but it would be fun. It would actually be really fun. So Mendoza is a guy, like when I watch his tape, the thing that sticks out to me the most about him is just how intelligent of a quarterback he is. And so I always like to take guys and judge them in a bubble. And then I want to judge. That's right. He did it for you. He did it for you, and he did it for Anubis. I like to judge them.
This one's for John.
This one's for John. So if you put him in the class with Drake May and Caleb and, the last great quarterback class that we had, Mendoza, I think he would have gone. I think a team could have looked at him and preferred him over Drake May. And I think some teams would have preferred Drake May over him. And so I view Mendoza as, it's not a tragedy of errors or comedy of errors. He's the first quarterback in a draft class. I think a lot of really good draft classes, he wouldn't be the first guy. I think that he's a good pick. I honestly think it's almost a good thing that he's more of a cerebral guy for the Raiders, because they could use some mental stability in that franchise. Good. Oh, I think thank you. I want there to be a time where the Raiders are relevant because it's good for the league, but I also hate that franchise. So I'm always conflicted about them. But they've been so fucking
He throws with great leverage. It doesn't throw 50-50 passes like we always hear about. Oh, this wide receiver's great in the 50-50 situation. Well, Indiana receivers didn't have to do that because he put the ball in the proper place.
The pick is in.
It was more like 60-40, 70-30. He always leveraged
the Raiders select
Well, the pick is in.
DJ Anubis.
The first of 257 picks.
The kicker.
257.
He's still around.
To the second to put this pick in the hands of the commissioner of the National Football League to come out and give us this announcement. His first pick 20 drafts ago, announcing as a commissioner, was announcing the Raiders taking Jamarcus Russell first overall. Here comes the commissioner.
The Marshmallow.
Oh man, what a waste of talent.
It is the Raiders choosing.
That guy had no business being a bust. He was so talented.
With the first pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Fernando Mendoza, quarterback, Indiana.
Good job, Fernando.
Welcome to the Millionaire Club, my boy. You earned it.
Yep. So going back to what he said, speaking of Bo Nix, I was thinking today about a question to ask you and wanted to know if you would take Cam Ward over Bo Nix. Ooh.
That's a banger of a question.
Yeah. And it's hard because I've already seen Bo play a couple of years. So, and I don't think Cam's bad.
No,
I would say no. I think
this channel. Yeah.
I think that, Bo is, when it comes to quarterbacks, is a little bit more my type of quarterback. But, again, it's so hard because Cam, he had a tough first year, but, that's expected with the team that he's on. But he did pretty well considering. So
he caught on at the end of the year, too, because I remember we were talking about that. He just doesn't fit your time. So, if you reset their careers and you could pick one, and they're both rookies, you probably take Ward, right? But if you could swap today,
Ward was rated higher, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But today, Nix has the experience. Like the swap today doesn't make sense. I think if they're both rookies in the same class, you're probably taking Ward. Actually, Ward in a Sean Payton system would be a lot of
Now,
fun.
the funnier thing is, if you were to rewind even further, I would change my mind about Josh Allen because he was one that I was actually very hard on at the time that he was coming out because of his inaccuracy in college. And so, like, obviously those 3 years in Buffalo, they worked on him and got him better, and he became this like superstar. But now he's just kind of going to race in Buffalo because they're going to get him killed. So,
yeah, oh yeah, we're going to have some words about their GM, and spoiler, I do not like their GM. So next we have on the clock, we have the Jets, and I want to see if they're going to do the silly thing, in my opinion, and take David Bailey over Arvell Reese. And I would like to uncork a rant right now, if I may. I hate the draft takes that you should take Bailey over Arvell Reese. They drive me insane because the argument goes Bailey is more polished. Bailey is going to be the better player. Bailey is going to be able to do more sooner. So let's start with
I did not know that. That's actually really good for Cam then, because
Bright Roar, he's a football scholar. He gets into the nitty gritty. Reese is, if you look at his floor is, man, I'm an awesome linebacker. His ceiling is, I'm an awesome linebacker and a great edge pass rusher. Bailey's floor is, I'm a good pass rusher. His ceiling is, I'm a good pass rusher. In a stronger draft class, Bailey is not arguably the first edge rusher. And he might not even be the second edge rusher. And so I have nothing against him. I think he's a top 10 pick, legitimate top 10 pick. But Reese fits the NFL better. He's more versatile. Is he going to be the next Micah Parsons? I think you never want to put those expectations on somebody, but he is closer. He's closer to Micah Parsons than Bailey is to Von Miller. He's closer to Micah Parsons than Bailey is to DeMarcus Ware, and so on and so forth.
I'm assuming most mocks have him going with that guy. I took receiver. I took Carnell Tate here, so this will be interesting if I even close to what they decide on this.
I just don't believe that Bailey is the safer pick. He's more versatile. Reese is more versatile. He's more talented, and I know that this is kind of a hot take, but I don't think that I think this is the hot take part. I think the versatility means his floor is higher. Can anyone envision him not being a good blitzer, even if it's just schemed up and good at stopping the run and doing some of the coverage stuff? That's not realistic. It's not a realistic take to view him as not being productive. But we've seen way better talents at traditional edge rush like Bailey fail. So the notion that Bailey is a safer or better pick just doesn't make sense to me.
All right.
They visited with him at the pro day, but it was a big story, so we'll find out.
And the Jets are choosing 16th overall. They might have been using their top 30 to figure out that pick a little bit more. With the second overall pick, the first question mark of this draft, and the domino effect that will tumble the minute we hear this name. We are about to get it from the commissioner. The Jets' second overall pick of this draft is...
Don't do it. Don't take David Bailey.
Second pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select David Bailey.
You fucking idiots.
Linebacker, Texas Tech.
So they do take David Bailey out of Texas Tech, second overall. So much for that top 30 visit being canceled. They probably knew this was going to be the newest New York Jet. What do you think this means, Daniel?
Well, they want guys who can get off the ball quick and do it in a hurry. Darren Mucci came from the Denver Broncos. When you look at their edge rushers, Nick Benito was 5th in the league in fastest get-off. Their other edge rusher, Jonathan Cooper, was 7th in the league in fastest get-off.
All right, so I'm not going to sit here and shit on the kid. He's athletic. He's bursty. He's got, this kind of goes on the radar, but he's got slightly shorter limbs than desired. But ironically, some other scouts talk about having good length. So there's some dispute about his talent. I always get a kick out of the discrepancies on physical measures. He has a lot of really good bend, and he's got a freakish first step. He can go around people. However, he gets knocked back by some tackles that shouldn't be dominating him. You can see that on tape against Kansas. He's got a nice spin move, which I will always enjoy. Shout out to Dwight Freeney. And I'm not saying that he's not a great talent. I think I would view him as the 5th to 10th best player. He's got some size concerns. He has 3 down playability concerns. So if you're a generational pass rush, like if you had Lawrence Taylor, but Lawrence Taylor couldn't stop the run, you'd be okay with that, right? Because it's Lawrence Taylor. David Bailey, like almost everybody else, is not Lawrence Taylor. So I think that he is a guy who is slightly propped up by a little bit of a diluted draft class. I don't know if I have him. I don't know if in my heart of hearts I actually think that he's better than Gain. Bright Roar, let me double check because the Chiefs were a tricky one for me to mock.
I chose at number 9 Spencer Fano, offensive tackle, and then at their 29th pick, I picked Denzel Boston, the wide receiver for them.
Yeah, I have Bane falling a lot in the draft to them at 9. And then let's see here. I had them taking Omar Cooper Jr. out of Indiana as well. I could see them taking a tackle. I could see them taking a corner or a safety if they really liked it, like the player. So shout out to David Bailey. I did have the Jets picking him because I thought that they would get it wrong. And the thing of it is it's just timing, right? Because like if Reese went 2nd and then Arizona went 3rd, I'd be talking about how I thought that was a great pick. But Arvell Reese is just so gifted. And the Jets are so bad, and they're not going to be better anytime soon. They don't even have their quarterback of the future, right? This is just a placeholder.
Do they just think that Bailey's a better fit for their defense, or
Bailey is viewed as being more pro ready and a safer, more traditional player. But Reese isn't Isaiah Simmons, the cat who came out of Clemens and it was like that weird tweener. Reese's tape shows you he can rush the passer very well and he can play traditional linebacker very well. He's not some weird joker linebacker safety hybrid guy. Bailey is going to be good. Reese is going to be great. That's to put it in a nutshell. Next up, we have Arizona, right?
Yep.
I had them. I had
Francis Mauigoa, but
that would be a good pick. That would be a good pick. I had them taking Reese.
Yeah, chances are a lot of these teams are probably still going to try to go best player. As rating. But
the Cardinals are fascinating too because a lot of people have them trading with the Cowboys. The Cardinals have made it known reportedly that they really want to trade back. A lot of people have the Cardinals trading back into the first round to get Simpson. The Cardinals are one of the most interesting teams in this draft class. I just saw your note. Let's see here.
Just so you know. Yeah. We'll run like we did last year. That worked really well.
I love, by the way, my favorite player in this draft class, other than Caleb Banks, is Sonny Styles. I love that guy. That guy is going to be such a beast, an absolute monster.
Did you have? Where did you have him going?
Sonny Styles. I have him going 5th.
Okay.
I have him at 5th. I didn't believe there is some talk that Arizona might take him. Some people mocked him to the Titans, and that would make sense. I actually wouldn't hate them taking a linebacker here. But I believe that the Titans are going to take a weapon for their young quarterback. I'm guessing it's going to be Love.
Yeah, that would change that team quite a bit around to have a running back like that. Go back
to
the
running back is back. Yeah, and Chris Johnson and Derrick Henry. They have a lot of, or Campbell. They have a history of running the ball.
Have stuck and picked, and here comes the commissioner to the stage right now with the 3rd overall pick. Fernando Mendoza went to the Raiders as expected. David Bailey's the choice of the Jets. We'll see who the Cardinals have chosen as the Titans are about 2 minutes into their time on the clock.
With the third pick.
Shador, watch fucking Bright Roar.
The Arizona Cardinals select Jeremiah Love.
Yeah, there we go. That's a hell of a thank you, Arizona.
So the Cardinals go offense. And
Yes.
arguably
Yes.
the most talented player in this
Thank
year's
you.
draft. And a dynamic running back.
Running backs are back, baby.
South Bend, and bringing him to the NFC West to do battle in arguably the deepest part of the NFL pool, out there where the defending Super Bowl champs reside.
Well, clearly, I don't know what I'm
This is a
doing.
team last year that was equally bad and boring. They're going to be exciting
But that's
when they
okay.
put Jeremiah Love on the field with some of the other pieces they have in place. There's still more work to do. We'll see what they do with the rest of this
Hopefully they have an
draft.
offensive
When you
lineman
watch
they
this
could
young
actually
man on
get.
the field,
I believe so. Hey, you know what? It's best player available. The quarterback that they take next year is gonna be happy that he's there. I respect it
Wait a minute. Why wouldn't you say that on stream? What is wrong with saying that on stream?
because I'm
This
a
isn't- this-
professional. No, I am a professional. If I don't know,
Big Mike, yeah, but Big Mike, you're not Mike Vapel. You don't have to worry about that.
oh my god damn.
Oh,
That was
hey, Kevy, what's up, brother? How are you?
it's the GOAT. I'm sad for a good pick, but I'm sad for him. So Bright Roar is at war with a player in my D&D group who is a
Yeah.
big Arizona fan. And
Who
they
is?
talk shit about one another all the time. So Bright
God.
Roar is mourning Jeremiah Love's career, just for the context.
So I know they got rid of Murray. So who is
Yes.
quarterbacking them now?
It might be Jacoby Brissett.
Okay.
They're like many teams. They're waiting on a quarterback next year.
Ooh, that's not good, brother. Can't be sick. That's not going to work.
Oh, heal up, man.
Because you got shit tomorrow, right? You got your stream tomorrow? All right. Who's next here? Is it Tennessee? Okay.
All right, I'm guessing that they take.
I actually have Reese going here, but
Well, you
we'll see.
might have it. I had them taking Love because I had Arizona taking Reese.
Saturday. Okay. Gotcha.
Let's see.
Yeah, it's crazy because both Irish backs are like the top two, but then like after that, it's just like.
Yeah, I know. But running backs are
Funny
back.
thing
man.
is though, like because like I went through my particular big board. I just went by who I thought the teams might take because they did have other needs. But here's a crazy thing, like, and this is no disrespect to Love, but I had him going. Let's see, where did I have him? I had him going to the Vikings at 18.
Oh, so you had him really plummeting. Okay.
Yeah, not because of anything bad, just because I was again trying to go with each team where I felt like their biggest need was. And again, for Arizona, I thought they still need line, but again, it's just if you're going with like the best player at that position, Jeremiah is going to be up there. So it's always just I was just kind of like playing devil's advocate, I guess, in a way.
Yeah, I think that if you're kicking the can on the quarterback, right? Like if you don't care if Jacoby Brissett lives through the season, right? So
you're just going to play for another number one or another top five.
exactly. Yeah. You don't. Yeah, they're looking at there's some free agent offensive linemen in their future next offseason. There's some linemen being drafted probably by them this year and next year.
Test. They got his scans in Notre Dame. No additional issues. He is fine and now off the board, Rich.
So meanwhile, in the
I'm so
Tennessee draft
stoked.
room, you got to be thinking Brian Daboll, the new OC's like, oh man. And then the defensive side of the ball, the Robert Sala's like, oh, we
Love
have
is gonna be so
Argo,
good.
Reese and Sonny Styles. Is that what we have? Right?
Love is
But
gonna be
that's
so good.
basically it, right?
Yeah, well, I don't see Cam Ward in there either. I'm sure he'd like to weigh in on this subject.
That's true. That's true. And I didn't really, when I did my mock, I didn't deal with any trades at all. So I just, that's a very good point you make. Right.
Now they've got both Ohio State defenders there.
I was kind of playing it safe, but never trust them.
Try and get one of these Ohio State Buckeyes to plug
We
in
saw
and
last year how
defensive
Sanders
runners
just went.
and then try and get that offensive player.
Yeah, we don't talk about last year's draft.
I've been saying Sonny Styles is put on this earth to play in Robert Sala's defense. He's a perfect fit.
Interesting, which would leave Arvell Reese for the Giants, who are on the clock right now, 5 and change.
Interested to
First of
see.
their 2 picks in the top 10. But for the moment, the Tennessee Titans have center stage right now. The commissioner is coming out with their pick. Again, 8 minutes per team. So the commissioner's
Oh, real quick, teams that I think might make trades: Dallas, Arizona, Philly, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, and the Chargers. You could throw Detroit and Kansas City in there too. Not that they would be doing it right now.
With the 4th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select Carnell Tate.
Whoa.
Ohio State.
All right.
For the first surprise of the night. Offense.
Well, I wasn't that far off. I mean, I had him going number 2, but
No, you did well there. All right.
Named in this draft is Carnell Tate, the wide receiver, hugging his.
But then again, I still had Reese going there because they do need edge help. But I guess they felt like wide receiver was the bigger need for Cam, of course. So
Yeah, and BPA Tate was atop a lot of people's. Yeah, I wanted Love to fall to Tennessee. That would have felt right. God damn, their new logo is clean, by the way. Their new logo is clean. I forgot about how good that is. So, Carnell Tate is a player that I am lower on than a lot of people. And it's very simple. I think he is an excellent talent. I think that there's a perfectly reason for him, valid way to look at him as the best wide receiver. But my problem is I guess I just think that Tyson is better. And this is a really good wide receiver class, but Tate ran a 4.5 at the combine. At his pro day, he ran better than that. He ran like a 4.49 or something like that. So his speed is fine. The 40 isn't everything. I think a lot of times the 40 is overrated, but it does matter. And he's a little small. Now he makes good contested routes or catches. He runs good routes. He does a lot of things well. He tracks the ball well. He one of the things I think is really important in modern football is because you can't touch a corner, the next best thing that you can, or a wide receiver, the next best thing you can do is face guarding. He actually does things to prevent being face guarded. So I'm trying to give him his flowers. But I don't necessarily know if he's going to be this incredible, like, top 5 wide receiver. You know, he gets comps to Devontae Smith a lot. Is Devontae Smith a top 5 wide receiver? No. You can make a top 10 list without Devontae Smith. He's a technician. He's a route runner. He's going to get open. But at a certain point, I want to see some wow factor out of my highly ranked wide receiver. Now, wow factor isn't everything. Marvin Harrison Jr. had that. He's sputtering. But Julio Jones had that. AJ Green, Calvin Johnson had that. And I'm now listing and comping him to other wide receivers taken in the in the top 10, no less, that did pan out. And I don't see prime AJ Green. I don't see Julio Jones. I don't see Calvin Johnson. So is he really that great? Because I have a lower grade on him than I had JSN. And JSN was comped as the 3rd or 4th wide receiver. He fell to Seattle in the mid to late first round. I like Jordan Tyson better. And I think that if Jordan Tyson didn't have some of the medical issues, he would be higher. But, I take my cues on wide receiver from Steve Smith Sr., who has never led me astray, that he viewed them as 1A and 1B. But I do view Carnell Tate as 1B. Now, if you're going to take him to play it safe because he runs better routes and you feel like that's going to help Cam Ward's development better, faster, or improve faster, understood. But I like Tyson better at wide receiver. But I don't hate the pick, and I never hate helping out your quarterback. So, again, I'm not trying to hate on Carnell Tate. And I'm probably wrong, but I just didn't see exactly what everybody else was seeing.
Well, I took Ione here for the Giants because I do feel like that they got to keep their young quarterback upright. But is it too much to pass on Arvell at this point for that?
Yeah, I think that Arvell fits. They both fit what that team wants to do. Ione is pound for pound the best player, the best offensive lineman, but he's a guard. Reese has a chance to be generational. He's BPA. I think a lot of people are having Ione get drafted high around 12 to 13 to 14. So I think that is about as high as he's going to go. I can see maybe going 9 or 10. I couldn't pass up on Reese. I'll be honest.
No, it makes sense. Again, we talk about best player available, and especially at their respective positions. And again, if they need help on defense, then that's kind of like where you look at as well.
Yeah. They also have the defensive. Oh, I mean, he's a special teams coach, but his calling card is defense and Harbaugh. I wouldn't hate it if they took Mayaga because Evan Neal was a bust. I wouldn't hate if they took their right tackle. I wouldn't even hate if they took Caleb Downs. I wouldn't hate it if they took Mansour Delane. I wouldn't hate it if I'm a big Mekhi Lemon fan in this draft. That might be a little high, but he's a baller. You do not want Mekhi Lemon to go to the Chiefs, by the way.
That's funny because I do have him. I think where do I have him going? I have him going to the Saints.
Oh, that'd be awesome for the Saints.
Because who is their guy? Spencer Rattler? Is that their guy right now?
It's his name is. I always screw up his name. It's Shough. Shuck, I think it's pronounced.
Okay,
strange. He's a beast. No, Rattler is interesting because he might be on the trade market, and there is some potential demand for him. Not as a starter, but depth,
experience.
Backup.
He did play a few games, so
yeah.
Scan now and score 40% off NFL Plus.
Welcome back to the Fast and Furious draft here in Pittsburgh. During the commercial break, the Chiefs, who traded a 3 and a 5 to move up 3 spots to 6, have made their pick. The Commanders are on the clock, but the Giants
pick? Tyson, maybe?
Oh, Tyson would be crazy.
That pick came in. That's when the Chiefs traded up from 9 to 6, and again they gave up a 3 and a 5 in this year's draft.
Hey, I called it. A lot of people weren't talking about the Chiefs making trades. Score one for me because I already fucked up a lot in this draft already. I need to count my dubs.
In partnership with the Tragedy Assistance Program for Survivors, TAPS, one of the NFL Salute to Service partners, we are honored to recognize the surviving family of United States Army Major Paul C. Volke.
Rest in peace.
Major Volke sustained tragic, fatal injuries while deployed in Afghanistan. He is survived by his spouse, Tracy, and their 2 sons, Andrew and Benjamin. Major Volkey was raised in the Hudson Valley and was a lifelong fan of the New York Giants, a tradition he proudly passed on to his sons. Volkey family, take it away.
With the 5th overall pick of the 2026 NFL Draft, the New York Football Giants select Arvell Reese,
There you go.
linebacker from the
Yep, there you go.
University.
There you go. That's a great pick.
So Arvell
God, look how happy. Just think about
Look
how
how
much that
happy
means.
they are.
I mean, you just like from the parents and the grandparents' perspective, the uncles, right? Like you watch that kid play pee-wee football all the way, you know what I mean, all the way up to here. Every game you watch them play, you're so stoked for them. In the back of your head, sometimes in the front of your mind, you're always praying and hoping that they don't get hurt. They go to college. You know, he emerged really big time last year. You have all this stuff going on that culminates here. Like it's so cool, man. This really is probably my favorite day of football. Wild card weekend is a close second. Wild card weekend is great. But this shit's dope, man.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. All right.
So, what do we think? Tyson? Is this gonna be
I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna guess.
It's gotta be offense, right? They have to go offense. I mean, even though defensively they did okay, but offense is where they really struggled.
If they just lost McDuffie. I don't think they're trading up for Delaney. I don't know if they're trading up for Downs or Styles. If Cleveland is trading with them and Cleveland reportedly really wants offensive line, then they're either happy to take Downs or Styles, or they think that Francis is going to be there. And I'm having trouble piecing this all together. I would guess Tyson. I would guess that Tyson.
I'm thinking that too because
that's what seemed to trigger it. Tate went, then somebody who didn't, because they said, hey, as soon as that pick came through, they made the trade. So I'm guessing Tyson or maybe Lemon. But I'm guessing wide receiver. Now that I said that, it's going to be Caleb Downs, and I'll look like an idiot.
Yeah, I got a feeling it's gonna be Tyson. They had some receivers last year. They were dropping balls and all sorts of shit, and they just pissed off Mahomes.
They have one good wide receiver. His name is Rashid Rice.
I still think they need some offensive line, but I don't think they're going to move up for that. They're going to go for like a playmaker. I'm pretty sure
there's going to be there's enough tackles that one of them will fall to them to their next pick. I mean, you have as many as 7 tackles with first round grades and projections on them. Peter Schrager made the point. I always try to cite to my sources that if we could consolidate and agree on who the best 20-ish best players are, those are typically the only guys in this class with first round traits or first round grades, right? So the Chiefs are going to feel, if you presume that that's true, then the Chiefs are going to feel pretty good about somebody falling there because there's just so many tackles.
Right.
And even guards. If they don't go offense, I would want them to take Sonny Styles because I have a higher grade on Styles than I do Caleb Downs. Now, I'll be interested in this because if, let's say, they took Reuben Bain, then that would mean they're okay with the short arms, and that would mean that they project that a lot of teams are actually okay with those short arms as well. Whoever they're trading for is going to tell us a whole lot about who they project to have been taken very, very soon, and that will inform other things. You get to do a little detective work,
right,
with this. That's what makes it fun. Jada just texted me. Broncos officially have the 5th best quarterback in the AFC West.
Oh my God. Jaded being jaded, man.
Jaded being jaded.
He is never
Kansas City team.
Meanwhile,
He's authentic. He is who he is.
Yes, he is.
All right, so I'm guessing.
As we're waiting for
I'm guessing Jordan Tyson.
Because again, they traded up from 9. The New Orleans Saints, 8th overall, are taking their allotted time right now, under 6.5 minutes to go until that pick is in. Here comes the commissioner with the Chiefs' 6th overall pick. Top 5 is already in the books with some surprises.
So I saw who it was.
What do I? Pick in the 2026
I don't hate
NFL Draft, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Not who I expected, though.
Mansour Delane.
Hell yeah.
Defensive back.
All right.
LSU.
So
well, that mixes it up a bit.
It does. I love this kid. He was very clearly the best corner in football or in college.
A highly talented corner out.
So you'll find this funny too. One of his biggest attractions coming into the evaluation phase was speed. He then ran a 4.38 40-yard dash and obliterated that one. The remaining fear on him is his frame, that he's 6 foot flat and around 190 pounds. That could be a liability. I don't buy it. I'm not saying that there's a million corners who weigh around 190 pounds who are great, but I've seen enough of them in my fucking day. He's also an explosive athlete. He's got fairly long limbs for his frame, and he is an incredibly smart football player. He's incredibly aggressive. Now, he played in LSU, so he played against good competition. 2025, no touchdowns given up, no penalties given up. But there's more. He has slot corner flexibility. Now, that was floated by a draft analyst called Dane Brugler. I want to give him a shout out. I had not considered that until Brugler brought that up. If you really want to knock him for his size, he might not be the corner that you can put on a tight end. I've seen some folks argue that you can't put him on a big wide receiver like a Metcalf, so on and so forth. I don't buy that either. There are plenty of corners who are smaller than guys like DK Metcalf and so on and so forth, and A.J. Brown who do well. You have to cover them, but you have to stop them from catching the ball. That does not equate to you have to be as big as them and mash them as they go down the field.
Right.
Delaney is an incredible cornerback talent, and there are some drafts that have him being the only corner taking in the first round. Now, I think that McCoy from Tennessee will go. I've seen people mock Avion Terrell and Colton Hood.
Yeah.
I don't
the first round.
Yeah,
so.
I don't buy that, but there is a huge difference. McCoy is a good prospect. He also ran a 4.3 something because I know that a lot of people care about that for corners specifically because they have the back pedal.
Now, initially, I had the Commanders taking Bailey at edge, but because I know the Commanders want like another receiver to join,
Tyson makes
Yeah.
Tyson makes so much sense. I could also see a team preferring Mekhi Lemon. And I would imagine that they take Tyson just because, simply put, Scary Terry's good, but he's getting a little bit older, and you want to have the heir apparent.
That's Lauren, yeah.
I am a huge Jordan Tyson fan. I had him number 1 on my board.
I think it's a heck of a value. At this point in time, he's my 3rd overall player to be there for the Commanders.
That is so corporate and dull looking. That is a soulless draft.
I would be in like t-shirt and shorts and maybe even naked.
Naked draft is crazy. Don't you fucking do that shit. Absolutely not. We're not that type of. That's for the OnlyFans. Only draft.
You still owe Neko that thong. Like
I don't owe something I never promised.
The Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year Award, presented by Nationwide,
You're going to get happy, my
is
friend.
awarded to one player each year
Oh, hell yeah.
and celebrates their profound impact on and off the field. I'm joined on stage by former winners Lynn Swann and Jerome Bettis.
So for the youngsters, Lynn Swann is one of the greatest postseason players in NFL history.
The bus.
And the league welcomed.
And the bus is just a big, strong man who runs over people and wins Super Bowl.
Super Bowl champion and 6-time All-Pro Bobby Wagner.
Yeah.
Way to go, Bobby.
He ran a 4.5 in his prime. Think about that, brother.
Nationwide, I encourage players drafted this week to make their community and the league a better place. You want to go for it?
I just saw who Washington took.
With the 7th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Washington Commanders select Sonny Styles, linebacker of
All right.
State.
Oh, man. I am stoked. He is my favorite player in this draft. I told you I had some hot takes buried. I got one for you. I believe Sonny Styles has the potential to be as good as any linebacker player I've ever seen, Ray Lewis included.
Wow, that's great.
Once upon a time, a safety turned linebacker took the NFL by storm in Brian Urlacher. We all love Brian Urlacher. I'm an Illinois boy. Sonny Styles is a more gifted, more updated, version of Urlacher. And Urlacher is a top 5 middle linebacker of all time. He can cover, he can blitz, he can run. And the best part about it is right now he's a polished prospect, but he's still developing, and he can. He has incredible intangibles. He has incredible mental acuity. He's going to be pound for pound, or I guess brain cell for brain cell. He's one of the smartest football players on the field in this draft class. And I'm just going to, I have to call it like I see it. I think he's going to make the Hall of Fame. And I will, injuries notwithstanding. I think he's probably going to be a high-end contender for Defensive Rookie of the Year. And I believe that by his second year, we will view him as one of the best defensive players in football. So it's a great pick. I know that a wide receiver made a whole lot of sense for Washington. And I could understand taking Tyson. I could understand taking Lemon. But
well, here's the thing, too, because I have the Saints taking Lemon, but do they maybe rethink that and go with Tyson since he's there?
Yeah. I that's completely reasonable. Lemon is one of those guys who he's got a little bit of that JSN in him where he can do a lot of the slot stuff. So one second, that's the wrong browser. Sorry, I'm flying through my notes.
That's all right.
He has huge playmaking ability. His route running is crazy. He's I comped him to, he's this strange hybrid of Steve Smith Jr., who was a traditional wide receiver, though he's much smaller, and Wes Welker. He's not quite as quick and wiggly as Wes or as athletic as Steve Smith Sr., but he splits the difference incredibly well. And so Steve Smith Sr., for those who don't recall, it's like 5'10", but he could make jumping, leaping, contested catches and was absurdly strong, not just for his size, but he was just a very unique player. And so the guy is an insane competitor. He has an old school football mentality to him. And while he's not going to be lining out up and running traditional deep routes in the X, he is a more modern wide receiver who, much like Amon-Ra is a number one, even though he plays a lot in the slot, that is kind of another guy that you could put Lemon at. So if you agree with my glazing of Mekhi Lemon, right, then taking him over Tyson would be reasonable. But I'm just so stoked for Sonny Styles, man. I'm so stoked. He's gonna get trolled by Reese because Reese got picked ahead of him, though. Like, their text messages have to go crazy. Man, I hope the Saints take a wide receiver.
They probably could use one because,
Gotta help the quarterback. Oh, shit,
well,
that's a good point.
They did take one last year, didn't they?
Let's see here. Depth chart. Saints. Let's pull up who they got.
Because they did have a young one they took, and he did all right.
They have Chris Olave.
Yes, Olave. That's what I was thinking.
And he was drafted a couple years ago. And after that, I'm seeing names like Bub Means, Jalen Polk, Elijah Cooks, Devon Vele, Kevin Austin Jr., Ronnie Bell.
Vele came from Denver, so he was kind of like not really a starter.
I am not seeing a whole lot of greatness.
So they could probably use a Tyson over there.
Yeah, they could. Yeah, here's the thing too. Olave has been on the trading block and rumors for the last 2 years. So do they want to move off of him and then replace him with Tyson?
No.
Now I would keep him. I like having 2 wide receivers.
Yeah. And maybe that's part of the frustration is that because, Olave is having to carry, so he's getting double teamed a lot and it takes him kind of out of the game. But here's another thing to throw at you. What about Sadiq here?
So that's my second favorite player in the draft. A lot of people would say it was a reach. I would be okay with it. I don't know if I'd be okay with it with Lemon and Tyson on the board, though. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Tyson's rated pretty high, so.
Yeah, Tyson's a stud.
You got a question?
Oh, I'm a Steelers fan.
He's a Steelers fan who also loves the Rams.
Yeah.
The Lambs.
My Rams. That's my NFC team. I'm getting some feedback. Is it on my end?
I don't know. I don't hear any feedback here.
Hold on 1 second. Can you hear me? Okay.
I hear you.
All right. I was hearing myself like twice, but I think it's okay now. Let's see here. Who are they going to pick?
So, I have Lemon here, but again, with Tyson still there, it could change things a lot.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I had the Chiefs after taking Spencer Fano at offensive tackle. But, I don't know if the Browns are going to do that. The Browns probably will go a different direction, I would think, because they lost a lot of offensive power.
Yeah, it's one of the things that they always talk about is like the run on a position. And so the Niners are a hell of a franchise. When the first offensive lineman goes, you might see a lot of them go. But because how I talked about at the start of the stream, how there's a lot of like, well, this guy's a right tackle, this guy doesn't have experience, so on and so forth. This guy doesn't have the arm length, yada, yada. I think that's why you're seeing some of the other guys go and ahead of them. Now, I'm not saying Spencer Fano and Francis aren't going to get drafted or anything, but this isn't a shocker to me.
Well, this isn't either because they just got their pick in. So
yeah.
This feels like day 3.
Yeah.
This makes sense. You just can't pass them up at this point.
No. I mean, you could have made a case that he should have gone ahead of Tate, right? So the fact that he's here.
Yeah, well, especially since you think that Tyson's a bit more.
I
like to edge him out. So this is basically a steal if you think about it.
Yeah, this is. Sometimes the board just falls to you.
Yeah.
Shut up, Roger.
In the 2026 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Jordan Tyson, wide receiver, Arizona State.
All right, so the wide receiver out of Arizona State that some thought might be the first receiver.
So this is what I have written down for Tyson. That I love his versatility. He can play anywhere. X, Y, and Z. He's big and he's strong. He didn't run. He didn't test his 40. He's projected to be a 4.5 guy, which is a touch slower than what you would like. But with his size, height, weight, all that stuff, right? It's not a shocker. He has insane body control, and I think he has the best contested catch skills, even ahead of Tate. He's not the route running technician that Tate is, but he does run good routes. I will knock him slightly because I do wish that his yards after catch was a little bit better. And that is why initially, up until a couple weeks ago, I had him below Tate. But as I watched their film more and more of Tyson, the one thing that I saw time and time again is it felt like he was having to make up more mistakes for his quarterback than other prospects. And I feel like, and it's just gut instinct. I felt like it was kind of a carry job on that offense. I thought that he got more attention on him again, from the defense than you could put on Tate because of the I can't remember his last name, but Jeremiah, the guy who might be the first overall pick next year. That way,
emotion on this kid.
Yeah. So it's I think that Tyson is just, we throw around the phrase he's a dog a lot, right? But he is a dog. I'm a big fan of his. Damn, he showed up in the all black suit.
Yeah, he must have already known.
Damn, dude, he showed up for somebody else's funeral is what he did.
Olave just said goodbye.
Dude is a beast. I still don't. By the way, Chad, I still don't know what a quarterback is. If you could tell me, that would be phenomenal.
I don't think Pittsburgh really knows either at this point.
Fuck, man. Maybe we'll trade for Kenny Pickett.
So who do you think Cleveland takes at this point? Because it's really kind of up in the air. I don't know if they're looking at it. Are they looking at offensive linemen?
I'm going to say offensive lineman, and which one I don't know. So a couple scenarios real quick. The first scenario is they take Francis because he's viewed as the best tackle. The next scenario is they take Vega Ione because he's the best overall offensive lineman, even though he plays guard. The next scenario is they take Fanu or Proctor because, especially Proctor, they played more left tackle in college. Gun to my head, I'm going to trust. See, I want to say that I'm going to trust the consensus because the consensus has been pretty spot on thus far. And say they take Francis, but I also then want to say they take Fano or Proctor because that'd be risky, and then that would mean that they fucked it up, which is very on brand for Cleveland. So I don't know whether I should trust their incompetence or other people's competence.
Now, initially I had at 13 the Rams taking Monroe Freeling, but because the other two were dropping, I mean, did you, with that notwithstanding, did you think that would have been a good pick with Freeling for them?
So let me pull up my rank. I had Freeling at 5. So he's a very raw player. He only played 1 year of left tackle, but he did play left tackle. He needs to fill out his frame a little bit. He's got some technique stuff to clean up.
The pick that's about to be announced.
I'll finish Freeling when this
comes
in the fifth to make this announcement. Do you think it's the first tackle off the board?
Hey, I got the pick right. What the fuck?
Trading down, getting some extra picks, knowing they didn't have to take that tackle.
It wasn't for the right team, but I got it right.
Hey, that's actually more impressive.
Right? Somebody was going to take him. But that's kind of weird, too, because I actually had Managoa higher rated, but some of the other commentators on the pre-draft were like looking at Fano being higher. So that's another
thing. Fano kind of splits the difference between talent and ability to play left tackle. So
with the 9th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, The Cleveland Browns select Spencer Fano.
I can't be mad at that.
Yeah, Kevin.
Look how big he is. Just look at that.
That's a lot of Samoan there. Or he's not
Just look
Samoan.
at him. I don't know. I'm uncultured.
Or he's got to be.
I don't know if he's. I'm gonna find out.
He's a big boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kevin, yeah, she's a Bronco fan like I am.
Yeah. So we'll get back to Freeling after we talk about Fano. He played in 2023 rather. He played left tackle, and he was an All-American freshman. Knock on him is that he needs to get stronger. At 308, I don't think he has to tack on 20 pounds of muscle to get it done. He is a physical freak. I wish that he had more experience at left tackle, but my opinion was he's going to be good. Now, if you told me they're just going to stick him at left tackle and say, kid, we're in Cleveland, we don't really deserve to have expectations, so just would figure it out slowly, I would be happy with that. My fear is that they're going to throw him out at left tackle, say, oh, you're not amazing day one. You have to protect our beloved investment in Deshaun Watson. Fuck Deshaun Watson. And then gut him. But it's not a crazy thing to have him over Francis.
Let's check it out.
With the 10th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select Francis Maui-Noa, tackle, Miami.
So this is
which is good because, again, that young quarterback, they need to protect him. So.
He can play right tackle. He also might get moved to right guard. He's going to give you some versatility. He has great instincts. He has a lot of mechanical talent. He's a technician.
know that he's going to play tackle.
Yeah, see, they're talking about him going to guard.
I'm looking at Illuminor right tackle. Just paid
Thomas at left tackle.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
He kicks in at guard to begin his career.
Yeah, and you think about they want to run the ball there.
Yeah. There are some times where a great player falls to you. You just run up. We saw how quick the Giants ran to make that pick, right? Like that did not take a long time. If he goes to guard, if he goes to guard, he is going to be changing their run game almost immediately. He is so stupidly strong. Every NFL player is strong, even by NFL players' standards. He is so stupidly strong. I have not confirmed this. I read that when he was working out, he made it the point to line up at multiple positions just to prove it. I believe he said that he doesn't care what position he plays, just get me on the field.
Yeah.
He's going to come into the NFL with a chip on his shoulder, and that is now everybody else's problem. I had him, I'll be honest, I owe honesty to the viewers. I had him as the number one tackle prospect because I have him at a right tackle. And I do value the right tackle position a lot, probably more than most. So my logic was, if you put him at right tackle, he has to be as impactful as a Lane Johnson, or here's a name for the youngsters, a Willie Anderson, where the fact that he's not playing left tackle he's just so good, it just changes what's happening for your offense. And that's what I viewed him as a right tackle. Short arms be damned. At guard, those short arms don't matter at all. And so while I do view him as a right tackle, and that was the precipice for me, or that was the logic at keeping him as the number one offensive lineman. If they do move him to guard in New York, he's going to be successful. If they eventually kick him back out to tackle, he's going to be successful. And I don't even necessarily rule out the fact that he could be eventually a good left tackle. I don't see greatness at left tackle, though. And I see that being years away. So the Giants are doing very well.
So now we have the Cowboys, and I actually had them taking Caleb Downs, the safety here.
Yeah, there's a lot of speculation they'd have to trade up to get him. So that's who I'm going to send. I had them taking. Let me check. So most of the players up until this point that I mocked are gone, but just to different teams. So I don't know if that
right.
How to feel about that.
But yours was a big board, so like you weren't really choosing for the
I did. I also did a mock draft with no trades as well.
Okay.
So I did, yeah. So I had Mendoza at 1, Bailey at 2, Reese at 3, Love at 4, Styles at 5, so on and so forth. They ended up going.
Right.
Here I had Francis actually falling to Dallas.
Okay.
And because he's gone, I'm gonna say I would probably say that
it'd have to be defense, right? Because like they do have offense.
I think it could be a wide receiver because they screwed the pooch with Pickens and said you're going to play on. They told him of all people, you're going to play on the pick or on the tender, and we're not going to negotiate long term with you.
Oh, really? Okay, I didn't know they were. Well, I mean, Pickens is always a hard headed anyway, but
it goes on.
So they might take Lemon then.
They might take Lemon. I don't think they're going to take off. I don't think they're going to do that. I could see them taking Ruben Payne. It's gotta be Caleb Downs would be my Downs or Bain. I could see an argument for either.
Yeah. That's crazy.
By the way, Jerry Jones had a quote, and I don't know if he was kidding. It's hard for me to believe that he was kidding, that he doesn't make calls for trades. It just works out better if people call him.
Yeah.
I'm so glad. Yeah. If I was a Cowboys fan, that would make me want to commit seppuku. So you don't.
It doesn't shock me either because that's just kind of how it is.
Chris Broussard calls them a reality TV show.
Yeah. Yeah. Now here's the other thing. Like obviously Dak, he's a good quarterback, but every time they get to the playoffs, they run into roadblocks. So how long do you actually let him keep the reins until maybe you start thinking maybe to replace him?
A year or two, I think.
Yeah.
Because there's no one you're going to do that with now.
Plus, they just gave him a big payday, so.
Yeah.
So then you have to kind of like try to dupe Cleveland to pay off that. If you ever need to dump a quarterback, just go to Cleveland because they'll pay you whatever. I mean, they just have a habit of doing that.
Yeah. A couple years ago, there was speculation when we thought that Dak might go, that the Steelers would pick him up. So I don't necessarily want that in a year or two. It has to be Caleb, right? Yeah. By the way, I was taking a lot of flack from some of my buddies about Caleb Downs not being a top 10 pick. So, woohoo, I was right.
Yeah, that's a bad call. I would keep that.
The Cowboys got a little itchy about.
Wow. So
again, we thank the Miami Dolphins.
They haven't had a first-round pick since 2021.
So the Rams just got put on the clock 13th.
Oh, first-round picks. Okay, I was like, where did they trade?
Draft selection of their new John Eric Sullivan administration will be. But the commissioner with the Dallas Cowboys, first of 2 picks here tonight.
With the 11th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Caleb Downs.
You got that one right.
Ohio State.
So there you go.
Now, of course.
Downs is a Dallas Cowboy. One of the more talented.
I don't know if that was initially a Miami pick or not.
And that's saying something because 3 other Buckeyes went before him in the first 10 picks of this draft. The Cowboys got themselves a big-time winner.
Yeah, and they got themselves a new defensive coordinator.
That's a good pick.
Yeah.
So for Caleb Downs, a lot of my analysis told me that he's going to be a really, really great player, but I was not seeing a top 10 pick in him. If you look at a bunch of the safeties taken in the top 10, it's not a lot of good results. Eric Berry, notwithstanding, because the cancer, he was amazing, and then cancer happened, and he went from being a generational player to just a very good safety. But if you're going to be taken, even in a class like this, in the top 10 as a safety, if people are going to especially have to trade up and get you, you have to be somebody, your floor, you have to be as good as Derwin James, right? Is how I would put it. Perennial, when healthy, Pro Bowl, All-Pro type of guy. And I picked Derwin James for 2 reasons. There is an analyst on Mike Mayock's podcast, and I have written down somewhere in my notes. I'll find it so I can credit to him. But he calls Charger games. And so he just said, I have to be honest. He's like, I'm biased. I call Charger games. I get all of that. He's like, but if I don't think he's as good of a prospect or will be as good of a player as Derwin James, it's hard for me to mock him in the top 10. And that stuck with me because that was clear, concise, succinct, and not shitting on Caleb or anything like that. It was just kind of how he viewed it. And when I watch Caleb, I see a lot of good stuff, right? He's so smart. He's a really good tackler. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes. And in fairness to him, one of the things that I didn't see isn't his fault. That defense was so talented and good. I didn't see a lot of times where he had to run deep and make like that Earl Thomas, Ed Reed pass the fence or pick. And I get that. But I watched his tape from prior games and years, right? And I didn't see that either. With JSN, like, why are you bringing up a wide receiver? His last year in college, he didn't run a lot of deep routes. That was a question. But he ran tons of them his year prior, so I knew that he could do it. I can't take a guy in the top 10 at that position if I don't know for a fact that he can do everything. And you might say, well, what's the difference between the 10th pick and the 11th pick? It's just one pick. And I would say that's fair and that's fine. But I also have to go with the human dynamic. The higher you are picked, the closer you are to those milestones, first overall, top 3, top 5, top 10, all of that, the more pressure there is on you. And it sounds dumb that there's a difference between going that there's more than a difference between going 10th and 11th because it's just one pick. But that is how human beings kind of function a lot of times.
Yeah.
It also means from a more practical standpoint, I didn't have to trade up to go get him. Now we saw that Kansas City only gave up a 3rd and a 5th to go from 9th to 6th. So it's not like it would have cost $1 million, but I still didn't have to give up other players to go get this guy at a position that does not age, that has not borne a lot of fruit.
Yeah.
Very high in the draft. So I don't know. I like the pick. I had him going. I had him landing with the Giants, and I think that ultimately it will work out pretty well for them. And I'm going to the Giants, and the fact that he goes to the Cowboys is good.
Also from the Packers. And this is the first of 2 picks for the Dolphins in the first round tonight. And they collected 2.
This one I did not have in the first round.
To move down 1 spot.
Interesting.
And make this announcement here through the commissioner in Pittsburgh.
With the 12th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins select Caden Proctor, tackle, Alabama.
Okay.
Daniel, they talked about wanting to build through the trenches with this
Good.
new regime. John
Good
Eric
pick.
Sullivan coming in here and making a statement by taking the big man out of Alabama.
That is I can't believe I'm saying it for the Dolphins. That pick makes a lot of sense. He's a 360-pound behemoth. So I have a lot. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, like, because so they lost Waddle. What else do they got going on at wide receiver right now? Because
nothing.
Now, obviously, I have. Yeah. So that's kind of interesting. I mean, it's smart because you still want to build in trenches, like they said, because they do have some running backs. They do know how to run the ball. So
there were a lot of jokes about you saw Malik Willis freaking out. Like, I come here, you have a number one wide receiver, you then get rid of him. Caden Proctor was my top left tackle prospect. At 360 pounds, you have to ask the question of, is he going to be Mekhi Becton, too big for his own body, injury prone, overgrown, or Jordan Mailata, an elite left tackle for the Eagles? And I don't know, but I do know that he doesn't have as many red flags as Becton coming out of college. And I know that this guy has great tape. I know that he doesn't necessarily have to lose a ton of weight. He has to control his weight. So what his playing weight will be, we'll figure out, because they pay literal scientists to figure out what somebody's weight for their body should be. Now, here's an interesting fact, and here's one of the reasons why I am really high on him. CBS reported that when they measured Proctor, he carries a ton of lean muscle mass. He carries 274 pounds of lean muscle mass. So he doesn't have a whole lot of weight to lose. But that also means that a lot of his bulk, his girth, so to speak, and the jokes write themselves there, is he's just that guy. He's just that big, mauling behemoth. I wrote that I don't believe that there's a copy and paste way of analyzing players. You have to understand that there's going to be exceptions to the rules. And I wanted to put him higher than the other tackles I had ahead of him because he's a true left tackle, and it's not what I call to as the right tackle or the guard tax. But I would be lying if I didn't say I am slightly wary, because 360 is a lot. And it's not like weighing 360 or 350 back in the day where athletes weren't as explosive. You now have guys who weigh as much as what tackles used to weigh with explosive first step speed that you have to block. It's a different beast. I even went as far as to try to find height weight comps to see, is he just too big? And so I'll post the link. Let me 1 second. So I pulled up the link here.
While you're doing that,
Yes,
so I had the Rams here taking Monroe Freeling. We were talking a little bit about him earlier. But you also have Ione still out there. And then the next pick with the Ravens, I actually haven't taken the guy you've been talking about, Ruben Bain at edge. So how do you feel about those two selections?
So Vega will not get past the Ravens. He is the exact replacement that they want for the interior line. Ruben Bain to the Ravens makes me sick because now they don't have to care about the arm length thing. Now it's just an insane value pick. If the Rams take a tackle, I would not be shocked. I also wouldn't be shocked if they tried to trade back right now.
I'd probably make more sense than anything right now.
I also wouldn't be shocked if they took Mekhi Lemon, because you have Puka is in rehab. He has some of those legal issues going over him. You have an aging Devontae. I wouldn't be shocked if they took Kenyon Sadiq because they like the receiver, the receiving tight end there. And so is he going to be the heir apparent to Higbee?
Actually, I did lie, so I just have to correct this real quick. So I did take Caden Proctor in there first, but I ended up taking him at 17 to the Lions. So that's where I had
that would make a lot of sense because they're looking for offensive linemen. That was a common landing spot for him too. So real quick for Caden Proctor, I posted the link there. Can I share it in the YouTube feed?
I might be able to. Hold on. Let me go grab it.
Let me see if I'll just copy and paste. Let's see if it goes through. It doesn't go through as a hyperlink, but they can copy paste it. Guys, so here's the long and short of it. It's on
CBS Sports draft profiles.
Yeah. So Trent Brown, 380, 215, good player. DeJuan Jones, 375, fourth round, solid player. Jordan Mailata. So there are some. Orlando Brown keeps getting contracts. Marius Mims was somebody that everybody loved last year, so on and so forth. So there are pros and cons with that. So I just don't think it's necessarily as simple as people think. Isaiah Wilson was a bust. He was not a bust because he weighed 350. He was a fucking bust because society failed him and he needed mental health he needed mental health help and he did not necessarily get it.
Yeah.
I think about him as this pick comes in. I'm gonna go grab I'm gonna go take a piss and then grab a Diet Coke.
Gotcha.
That is our fake sponsor of the stream.
Yeah, in fact, I'm gonna go and grab me a soda. So we'll be right back. We'll get you all caught up, and it won't be too long. So hold on. All right. This Mike's still getting his stuff. Still waiting on the Rams pick. So for you guys in chat, your teams, who are you looking forward to drafting? Any wish lists that you might have for your respective teams? How do you feel about the draft right now, the picks so far? With your mock drafts, did you feel like you were on target with some of your picks? Oh, here we go. We got the Rams coming in now. Coming in hot.
The roster at that position right now. And oh, by the way, the Super Bowl this next year is in their own building. So I thought this would be an opportunity to try and get that extra piece to help nudge them over the team in their division that hoisted the
I did not
trophy
see this
last
one coming.
Or do they think long-term vision, and that leads to Simpson?
I know, CD, that they loved Caleb Downs. I think there was a lot of talk about Mekhi Lemon. Yes, Downs off the board, maybe Lemon here, but there seems to be some smoke around this Ty Simpson.
A lot of smoke around that one. It's just very interesting to me in doing it. But this is going to be one of the few times that your quarterback taken 13th overall, if it does come down that way, has no pressure to play. Amazing.
With the 13th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Rams select Ty Simpson,
Okay.
quarterback, Alabama.
Wow. So this is the first big shocker of the night. The Rams are taking Ty Simpson, 13th overall. The young man who is in the green room tonight, some thought he would have a very long stay there this evening and potentially linger into tomorrow night.
All right, what I missed? Anything big?
The Arizona
Shocker.
Cardinals moving in to take him.
Ty Simpson goes to the Rams.
He's going to play on the NFC West.
Fuck.
Maybe not for a while. The Rams Kurt Warner will take your thoughts first up.
I'll tell you what, guys.
Kurt Warner's
I think
a big
this is
Simpson
the
fan.
Perfect fit for Ty Simpson. Where you have the questions about his experience. You're in a perfect situation with a Super Bowl winning quarterback to say, hey, come in. We're going to grow you in this offense. We're going to give you a chance to grow and become the quarterback we think you can be for whenever.
Well, that's a shocker of the day right there.
So, when they traded for McDuffie, people thought that he couldn't go to the Rams anymore because the thought was they'll take him at the end and they'll be picking high enough to protect somebody from trading back into the first, kind of like the Teddy Bridgewater, Lamar Jackson scenario, right? I did not rule out the Rams taking him. And I was actually kind of waiting for them to trade back that 13th pick. That's what I was alluding to with I wouldn't be shocked if they traded back.
Well,
taking
that's a good point because they brought up that, they thought that he'd be waiting in the waiting room for a while. Is there another team that was looking at him? You think the Rams just got kind of nervous?
I think that we will find out that everyone was saying for so long, Simpson's not maybe going to find his way in the first round. It sounded like, to quote the gentleman from Broncos forums, liars season. And I thought that the Rams were going to trade back and grab him later. The Steelers, there's been a call for the Steelers to take him. I didn't think that they were going to. When I gave you my wish list, him trading back and getting him was in the middle, and taking him at 21 was 10th. I would have been able to stomach it because whatever. I thought that the Rams were going to have Spencer Fanu fall to them. And when they didn't, and I was alluding to the trade back, I shouldn't have fucking done it. I actually robbed myself of a big brain moment. I should have just said, oh, maybe they'll take Simpson, but okay, whatever. I also had him I had him being taken at 16 by the Jets. The reason why I had the Jets, and I'm not totally shocked by the Rams, is this. He has first round talent. The arm is first round. The mind, he's quite smart. He's made some big time throws. The whole thing, we've heard everyone talk about the 15 starts and you comp that and it doesn't work out and all that stuff. The real red flag for teams is he weighs, maybe with a brick in his back pocket, 190. And he's not like Russell Wilson short, but he's not very tall either. So you don't want to send that guy out there as a rookie in a bad situation. If you stash him, the Rams have a loaded roster. The Rams have made lots of free agent acquisitions. They can grab Simpson and coach him up. And so one of my things with Simpson is if he came back and if he went back to college and he played and he did well, he would have been a high draft pick. But next year's class, it's always next year's class is supposed to be loaded with the quarterbacks, right? That's a trend. But it is. So just for sake of argument, let's say that holds water. He gave up millions to be here. They're going to take Vega. If they don't take Vega, I'll eat my... Actually, you know what? I'm not going to say that because then they won't. They're going to take Vega.
You got it. You got it.
So the boo was, in fact,
so it looks like they got exactly who they wanted to.
Yep, it's always the Ravens. They always get exactly who they want. Those fucks.
And they don't like that.
No, they don't like this at all. You thought there was a reaction.
Well, I'm not totally shocked because even though I had them taking the edge, like I knew they kind of needed offensive line help too.
Yeah. Administration.
Because Lamar was getting killed back there last year too.
They lost Linderbaum.
I don't know. This is as much for the commission.
With the 14th pick in the 2026 NFL
Fuck
draft,
the Ravens.
The Baltimore Ravens select Olai Bavenga, Ioane, guard.
Yeah, he's pretty good pronouncing that.
Well, how about that pick? Hey, man,
they have the pronunciation guides on the card. No, they really do. It's actually, there's a whole process where the pick comes in. They have pronunciation guides for all the players that they invite that they expect to be there or whatever. Then they print that off. They slap it on the card. We've seen how they make the jerseys in real time, which is really cool too.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's a great pick. I fucking hate I have to do this. I'm going to read this and I'm going to be fucking sad. But I'm going to read my no sacks allowed in 2 years. Incredibly gifted as a technician and brute strength and mauls people in the run game. I found a clip of him driving a defender back about 10 to 15 yards. I couldn't tell exactly because I didn't know if I should count him flailing backwards and falling. If you remove positional value and pound for pound, he's probably the best offensive lineman in this class. I guess his feet could be slightly quicker. It doesn't matter. He's a monster. I hope he's a Steeler. There, I read his stupid fucking profile that I wrote up. Fuck you, Baltimore. In case you can't tell, I really wanted him to be a Steeler.
Yeah, I mean, but that's a tough. Like again, as you said earlier, after him, it just you don't really have. It's not very deep there for them. So
yeah, there are some. So, do you want to talk about some of the other interior linemen?
sure.
Okay. So, some of the other interior linemen. So, there are some people who do swear by Chase Basantis. He's from Texas A&M. And there are some people who are high on Emmanuel Pregnon, I believe is how it's pronounced, from Oregon. And you will see every now and again those guys getting mocked in the first round. And I actually believe that both of them are pretty good. I do not have a first-round grade on Emmanuel Pregnon. For Basantis, I have fringe first-round grade. My issue with Pregnon isn't anything really obvious. It's not that I didn't watch him play, and it's not that I didn't see a good player. It's just I took what he was doing, and then the other players in the first round, I couldn't find a spot for him. Pardon me. In a couple of my mocks, especially kind of like earlier on in the process, I did occasionally find a spot for Basantis. Those guys are good. For me, it's after Pregnon. You have Kalen Rutledge and Connor Liu and Sam Hecht. And those are guys that I have. It's a beauty in the eye of the beholder. I have 3rd to 5th round on them, grades on them. After Hecht, there's Logan Jones, and his claim to fame is he played offensive line in Iowa. And after that, I have 6th and 7th round grades at best for the rest of them. So if your team takes Chase or Emmanuel or even Kalen in the 2nd or 3rd round, and Kalen Rutledge actually in the 2nd round isn't crazy. Let me be very clear about that. I don't think I was. Kalen Rutledge probably will be a 2nd or a 3rd round pick. After them, I'm seeing 4th and 5th rounders at best, and Connor Liu and Sam Hecht. I'm not saying they can't be good. I am saying I'm not seeing all pros in their future.
Yeah.
And after that, I don't see a whole lot to be excited about. And usually you have 3 or 4 guards go in the first round anyway. So if a team, especially at the end, takes Chase Basantis, that wouldn't be crazy.
Now, on your big board, you still have about 4 players that are still out there. So you have Caleb, not Caleb Jones, Lemon, Banks, and Sadiq.
Yeah,
are in there. So how do you feel about where they're at right now in terms of possible being taken in the next few rounds or next few spots?
I don't think that those guys will. I don't think that any of them. I'll say this: none of them should be there past pick 20. I would.
Tampa Bay had Tampa Bay taking McCoy, but is because of the issues that they usually have at receiver. Even though Evans is great, he just gets hurt a lot.
Well, Evans is in San Fran now.
Oh, yeah, he's the one I traded. Okay,
Yeah,
so who's the other one they
free.
have on the other side usually?
They have Godwin, and he has some injury issues, but they drafted a Mecca last year, and he was great as a rookie. So for Tampa, I had them taking Keldrick Falk at edge. I could see.
I actually have him going to the Jets, but
so I have Sadiq going to the Panthers at 19. I almost mocked him to Tampa as well because they could use a tight end. Sadiq.
You're gonna laugh. I have Sadiq going to the Patriots at 31.
Huh.
Well, not because he's bad. I just kind of foresaw.
You just thought that you just saw that yeah. Well,
and then I said to myself, "Oh, this is something Kraft would do. Kraft would go after a tight end that's got that caliber of a."
I mean, it would be awesome for Drake May. I see who Tampa drafted, and I'm happy
for the Buccaneers.
Oh, yeah.
Choice here in Pittsburgh.
He doesn't have to move very far. But couldn't help it.
Not sure I saw them going defense, although I did have them going McCoy, so I guess I can't really say that. But.
They are, I believe Tampa believes in BPA to the hilt, and it's hard to.
Hey, yeah, you can't really argue with it because Baltimore does that a lot. So
the 15th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Ruben Bain Jr. Miami.
All right, so he goes from South.
I really like this kid. I'm really happy for him. He's going to be a very, very good player. He has scheme versatility. And I like pass rush versatility. Von Miller could move around. DeMarcus Ware could move around. Those just more recent guys. I'm going to quote this from McShay, and him from The Ringer. NFL teams don't like outliers. No player with sub 31-inch arms has produced double-digit sacks in a season for the past 20 seasons. Bain will also have the shortest arms of any first-round edge selected in that span. So that is a fact. Those are facts. I want to make the case to go the other way. Pound for pound, he is one of the strongest players in this draft class. And that much strength for an edge rusher is a sight to behold. He has short limbs, and that does concern scouts. But he sort of can move around on the defensive line and plays and looks like John Randall. He also can play on the line and also moves and looks like Geno Atkins, if you want a more recent comp. He's been compared, and I'll quote McShay again. He compared him to Terrell Suggs, who also had shorter arms as well. Now, I'm not sold on I'm not sold that anyone truly knows where he should or shouldn't be on the defensive line. I'm just willing to bet that between his tape and his strength and his burst, which I think is underrated, there's somewhere for him. There are people who knock and doubt his quickness. My eyes tell me otherwise. I think he's actually quite quick. He's not fast, but he's quick. I thought that he had a limited skill set. I didn't think that he was much of a technician. Now, most of his moves tend to be power rush moves because of that strength. But he doesn't have the Von Miller bend and the Dwight Freeney spin. Fine. But the quickness allows him to grow and actually add some moves to his repertoire. One of his best moves, ironically, I wrote a lot about Ruben Bain, is a long arm move. He wins with inside counters, chops, outside counters. And is he going to blow you away like he is a pass rush technician? No, he's not going to DeMarcus Ware you, but he is a good technician. And it is okay to say that somebody is good at something and not great. It doesn't have to be either he can or he can't. There's a massive amount of difference between those two things and a massive amount of room in between those two things. And I wrote this, if he falls out of the top 10, it would be a sad day for a young man who should be a top 10 pick and a good day for whoever it is that drafted him. So I do believe in Ruben Bain.
At 16, the Jets, I actually had the guy you talked about, Keldrick Falk, on here. How do you feel about that selection if it happens?
Falk is a really fun prospect. If you want to take a guy with great tools and some stuff to work on, this is your player. He's incredibly young, but he also has a ton of experience. He probably needs to refine his moves a little bit, but his size and weight remind a lot of scouts of Carlos Dunlap. I'm not citing to anyone because that's a very common observation. Who had a tremendous career with the Bengals. I'm not the first one to make that. I'm not the first. What's going on, Mo, my man? I'm not the first one to make that comp either. Falk, unlike Dunlap, will be a first-round pick. He has an incredibly high talent level, and if he was more refined, he would be a top 10 pick. The days of a guy like him falling to the second round because he needs to be more polished are over. He is an absolute specimen. He's an absolute physical specimen, a killer against the run. He played a lot of different techniques on the D-line this past season. He has a high ceiling and is worthy of a first-round pick.
Well, Mason Taylor's there as well. You know, Jason's kid, who was one of the few bright spots.
I have not seen the pick that's come in. I also wanted to say I got sidetracked. I'm not looking, but Sadiq to the Jets makes a lot of sense as well. Like I said earlier, I mocked him there in other times. Let me see.
The New York Jets select Kenyon Sadiq.
Yes.
Tight end, Oregon.
So they're going tight end to him. I mean, this guy can go get it on the outside. You know, that 40 he ran.
I can't believe I'm about to fucking say this, but the Jets did well.
Tight ends we've seen in history at the combine.
Well, you go and you go after what you need, or you feel like you can be a difference maker. He is the best tight end in the draft class, so that makes a lot of sense.
He has so much untapped potential. Let's see here. I did a write-up on him. 1 second. Okay, it was a shorter write-up. Sometimes I am verbose. Sometimes
I'd rather have him there than a Patriot. So
yeah, no, I get that. Sometimes you just have to take a player who's good at football and has good measurables. He does not have a long track record of success. Last year was his breakout. He has some issues with drops. He has some issues with running routes. So let's talk about what he can do. He can run faster than a lot of wide receivers. He can make contested catch. He can be a mismatch anywhere you put him on the field. He is a guy who, if you put him in last year's draft class, he would have probably been behind Warren and Loveland. But those are two of the best tight end prospects in the last 50 years. Okay. He also would not have been far behind Warren and Loveland. He is a guy that, simply put, is going to be a huge benefit for whoever their quarterback is next year as a safety blanket. Mileage may vary on how you view him as a blocker.
now I had the Lions again taking Proctor, but we have Falk out there, Lemon out there, Freeling. Still have Banks. That's pretty much as far as like some of your lists out there. Banks is really kind of like the one we were talking about, where most people don't have him going high, but I feel like he's actually one of the better defensive tackles, defensive linemen in the draft now. So
the Steelers might take him. I would be very happy if they did.
I would hate you if you did. I'd just kick you right in the nuts.
They are large and strong, brother. Do not hurt your foot.
Brass balls.
No. Diamond. I'm classy.
Diamonds are forever.
That's right.
Well, how do you feel about this? Who do you think you'll look at now? I think one thing I noticed about last year was, despite how powerful that Lions offense is, there were times that Gosling Jr. just got nailed half the time and just buried.
I have them taking
pressure.
I have them taking Monroe Freeling.
Okay.
They're in an interesting spot because Sanu Paywell can play left tackle and right tackle. You want him to play left tackle because he's exceptional. So you also want him to play left tackle because that's the blind side, and you don't want to necessarily trust that to a rookie. Monroe can absolutely slot in and play left tackle, or play left tackle, I think, eventually. At right tackle, I like him a lot, especially as a starter. Now, Monroe Freeling, here's the thing too. He has played a year of left tackle, and he was really good, but it was just 1 year. He has to clean up his technique. He has to get a little bit heavier. I had moved Monroe Freeling as high as 2 and as low as 5 on my tackle my tackle ranking. He's definitely a first rounder, and going up against the SEC pass rushers makes it easier to buy into his hype. He's very athletic and physically gifted. This is something that you're seeing a trend. Guys who are a little raw, have some experience, some things to clean up, maybe need to get a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
A lot of guys that maybe got hurt in college and they can't come back another year, don't want to risk it, that type of thing. Given how much hype he had around him, I wasn't going to be shocked if he was the second tackle off the board, because given how some scouts really believed in him, or as low as 4 or 5th. He's one of those guys where if you switch a GM or two and he's going to go in a radically different place. Him to the Lions at 17 makes a lot of sense, and it also, I think, is a good value pick too.
Yeah. Now, what about the Vikings? Because I actually had, at this point, I talked about earlier, Jeremiah Love going to the Vikings. So who do you think they might be taking or taking a look at?
It's going to be their choice of a safety. I think they're going to take Dylan Thieneman or Emmanuel McNeil Warren. They could. Let's see who they got.
Big people. Everybody's had the Lions on the tackle with Decker not being there. Who was central casting though? Well, we were talking about the big guy. Caden Proctor. He's gone. And he's gone.
All right, here's the commissioner.
So they thought they might take Proctor too. That's what I had initially slotted there. So
yeah.
Here on this draft night in Pittsburgh, 17th overall pick, the commissioner with a special guest.
Oh, I didn't see that.
The NFL is proud to be part of the global community of wish makers, taking action to support Make-A-Wish during World Wish Month. Tonight, you all have the opportunity to help grant an unforgettable wish. I'm joined here by Easton, a 14-year-old Lions fan
Bronco
who
Billy.
wishes to announce the first-round draft pick for his favorite team. I'd like to ask all of you to join me in cheering on Easton as he makes his wish come true. Take it away, Easton.
With the 17th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Blake Miller, tackle, Clemson. Let's go!
Well, at least they went offensive line because they desperately needed it.
Yeah. I did not have a first-round grade on Blake Miller. I had him at 6th.
I didn't have him at all in the first round, so that's pretty interesting.
I will say this: there are very smart evaluators that like the kid, so it doesn't shock me. I'm not saying that it's a bad pick. He got mocked around to people towards 22 to 24 a lot. San Fran, Philly, Houston, he was kind of in that range.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why I didn't really have him that high or above the other guys is simple. I just thought that they were better. He's viewed as a really athletic player, and I'll read off of somebody that really likes him. Overall, Blake Miller's combination of athleticism, intelligence, and experience position him as a promising offensive tackle prospect with the potential to excel at the next level if he can address his technical weaknesses and continuing to showcase his strengths on field. I thought that he had a lot of technical weaknesses. I did not have a first round grade on him.
Did not see that.
Is reality.
But it does speak to what you and I have been talking about.
Yeah. I'll say this for the young man, too. If the Lions like what they see from him as an offensive lineman, he's probably pretty good.
The Minnesota Vikings select Caleb Banks. Defensive end.
There you go.
Yep.
All right, I give you the floor on the wow. Yeah, he's my 51st player. I mean, there is a ton of ability there, but he's had an injury with his foot. He re-injured it. Didn't get to see him much this year. So someone who only played 3 games this year, he's a flash player. It's a little bit hot.
So a lot of them had like a lot, people over him. I really did think he was like the better one of the group.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a swing for the fences. If you hit on this one, you could end up with an all-pro because he's got all that ability. It's just there's no
He's a
to go
beast.
off of, and it's a little bit up and down in terms of the consistency.
Now,
But when you watch
for the Panthers, I actually have a player you brought up, the safety Thieneman. How do you feel about that? My selection there with him.
The safety Thieneman.
Yeah.
That is that's a lot of people have him going in that range. So I think that prediction's pretty solid. I had Thieneman going Scrolling. I had him going 18 to the Vikings. So I want to do a quick rebuttal to what they were saying about my man Caleb Banks.
Okay.
I completely disagree with the consistency thing. When he's healthy and on the field, he's a difference maker. So I respectfully disagree with that. It was noted that he was the 51st player on somebody's big board. I think at a certain point, I'm trying to say this politely. I can't. That's fucking stupid. There's not 50 players better than him with injury concerns. Every year we see people with injury concerns get taken in the first round. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. I'll give you this comp. I'll be slightly creative. Ty Simpson, one of the issues that people have with him was his size, right? For quarterback, right? If he was 6'4" and 220, he probably doesn't make it out of the top 10, right? Okay.
Right.
Well, he's not as big as some of the other guys. Pat Mahomes weighs 220-ish. Joe Burrow weighs 220-ish. Lamar Jackson weighs 220, so on and so forth. They all got hurt. Josh Allen gets hurt. They're all bigger, either standard-sized quarterbacks or they're not. This guy hurt his foot and rehabbed it and played the last 3 games. That would tell you that not only is he a dog, that would tell you that he did what? He overcame the injury. So if the Vikings took him there, that means his medical came back clean for them. Do you think that they're the only team out of 32 who had a clean medical come back for him? No. So I'm not saying that he should have been taken there. I'm not even saying that it would have been outrageous if he wasn't a first rounder. I had him as a first rounder. But to take his injury history and then say there's 50 guys ahead of him, what are we doing?
Yeah, I actually had Banks at least. I had him going at 20 to the Eagles. So,
what are we doing?
I mean, just off name alone, I was like, I'd seen him play, so I know that he's like, despite the injury, he's still a beast. Like, if again, it's always a risk, but at the same time, this is like I consider this more of a low risk, high reward type of pick. So, kudos to the Vikings for snagging him.
I mean, that means like if he's ranked 50th, that means you're going to tell me that you have Peter Woods. I should say likely. I don't know his big board. But that would tell me that you likely have Peter Woods, who is an undersized defensive lineman ahead of him, that you have guys like Caden McDonald and Lee Hunter ahead of him.
Yeah.
And if not, then you don't think any of the defensive linemen or like, what are we doing? Jesus fucking Christ.
Christ. All right. So what do the Panthers do? Oh, there you go. They just answered my question. So I'll wait for everything to catch up.
Get special deals during Verizon Small Business Days, April 27th through May 10th. All right, so the Panthers are on the clock. The Eagles just traded up with the Cowboys. It's a fascinating backstory behind that I can't wait to tell you. And then the first Pittsburgh Steelers home draft choice since 1948 coming up.
With the 19th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Carolina Panthers select Monroe Freeling, tackle, Georgia.
Very nice moment in the South Carolina home of Monroe Freeling.
So he does go, just not where I thought he would. But hey, that's a good pick.
It's a real good pick. I mean,
and you got to protect the quarterback, so
you do. You absolutely do.
A lot of stress. So.
Hey, he played 1 year of left tackle and he was really good. At 6'7", he's going to have room to put on some weight. He probably needs to weigh a little bit more than 315. So if you don't think that a 20-something-year-old young guy who's 6'7" can't put on 10 to 15 pounds of muscle, you're a really pessimistic person, because I sure fucking do. The kid's gonna be good. We've talked about him enough. I will just say this: I cannot stress this enough. He is a tackle who is athletic enough to move out in space well for screens. He also got better as the year went on. That's a really good pick.
We all know that they traded
So,
away.
does this mean anything for AJ Brown?
Yeah, they're going to move him. He's gone.
Let's see who the Eagles are trading up.
He's gone.
Well, guess who's next?
I cannot believe Lemon lasted to 20.
With the 20th pick in the
Oh my God.
2026 NFL
They did
draft,
it again.
The Philadelphia Eagles select
They fucking did it
Ty
again.
Lemon, wide receiver, USC.
All right. And would you believe the last time the Eagles took a wide receiver in the first round is when they made that trade with Dallas to go get Devontae Smith?
All right. Now, here's the interesting thing. For the Steelers, I went wide receiver. Do you want to take a gander who I chose?
Did you take Omar Cooper?
No. He would have been at
receiver.
one of them I looked at, though.
At wide receiver. Okay, so it's not Tate. It's not Tyson. Was it Lemon? Did you have Lemon fall into Pittsburgh?
No. I had them going way long
All right.
sooner.
Kevin Concepcion or Boston?
Conception. Yep.
Okay. Oh, is it Conception? Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just kind of Concepcion. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's kind of a weird name, but
yeah.
Because I know right now they just have the one kid. Is it Pittman?
Off the top of my head, I don't know. I have the Steelers taking Emmanuel McNeil Warren at safety. I also wouldn't be shocked if we took Max Ihanak or oh boy. I wouldn't be shocked if we took a corner, although there's not a lot of love for the corners, although I do like McCoy. Jermod McCoy.
Oh, yeah. Is McCoy still out there? I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
And then you still have Falk out there. Yeah, there's quite a few. I mean, I had Warren going a couple picks later after you guys, but with
it could be Dylan Thieneman. I think it's going to be a safety. I don't think they're going to take a wide receiver, right? Like, I don't think our front office is taking a wide receiver after Pittman. I haven't looked at who we got, so I'm going to watch it live and be surprised.
It's not there yet anyway.
Okay. Hell yeah. Also, this stream is brought to you by Cthulhu.
Who's running back right now for Steelers?
Jalen Warren.
Okay.
I have Jadarian Price going to Seattle at 32.
So do I.
That's a very common one.
And it's not really like they actually need him, but dude, to be teamed up with Walker the third, like that's just crazy.
Yeah,
it makes a lot of sense, like the way they like to run the ball.
Yeah. Oh, Walker the third's a Chief.
Oh, he left?
Yeah, the Chiefs gave him a fat check.
Oh no, I don't want to face that bitch. God damn it. No. See, I haven't really paid much attention to that.
Yeah, well, the way your season ended, it hurt you. I get it.
Yeah, I didn't want to, I had to have some time by myself.
I understand.
Oh, I can't believe that. Walker the third. Okay, so that makes a lot more sense now that Price would go there.
Yeah. Charbonnet's good, but I don't know if he's a carry the load by himself guy.
Nah. And Walker had such a great couple of years there at Seattle.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Steelers.
Yeah, I'm not gonna have it spoiled. Won't you do it? Oh, I see the Sinners poster. I still haven't seen that. Is it good?
So good, dude. So good.
Should I watch it?
Yes.
Okay.
Watch it, love it, buy it.
Okay.
I literally it's not often I'll buy a Blu-ray after I've seen a movie, but I immediately bought it after I watched it.
Shitty camera. All right. That's all we can do. Oh, upside down because I'm fucking stupid. Boom. Oh, look at that.
Oh, they're really hyping it up, aren't they?
Yeah.
Tommy Shaw from Styx. Steelers.
Yeah, see? No.
I'll watch it tonight. I'll watch it tonight.
Oh, mama, I'm in bed.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at God. Look at God's favorite football team.
God's favorite football team.
Into my running, and I'm so far from my home.
Dude, even the tracker's not updating. They're like really trying to draw this shit out.
Yeah. He's very drunk.
Yeah, everyone's telling you to watch Sinners.
I will watch Sinners tonight, guys.
It was my favorite movie from last year.
Were you happy that it did well in the award show?
Yeah.
Steelers select. The Pittsburgh Steelers select
Joe Green.
Alan Faneca. Derek Carmen. Joey Porter Jr. Ben Roethlisberger.
TJ Watt.
Lynn Swan.
TJ what?
All right, let's get on with it. Fuck you guys. Come on.
No. Bask in the glory of God's favorite
It's
football
ridiculous.
team. No, it's in Pittsburgh.
I don't give a fuck.
You do.
The Broncos just piss all over Pittsburgh.
I don't. Lombardi check. How many you got?
20.
That's a lie.
In Pittsburgh since 1948. Big moment.
The Pittsburgh Steelers are committed to growing the game of
Who the
football
fuck?
and
Okay.
celebrating athletes
I didn't see
at
that.
every level.
Oh, wait, you did talk about
Joining
this,
me
though.
on stage are 6 Jerome Bettis Leadership Award recipients, featuring both high school tackle players and flag football athletes. Jerome?
Thank you, Commissioner. The Jerome
So get the
Bettis
fuck out of my way.
Leadership Award recognizes high school football players who demonstrate leadership, character, and service, both on and off the field. Congratulations to each of you. We wish all of you the best as you continue your football journeys. The last time I introduced the Steelers' first-round pick, I was fortunate to introduce TJ Watt.
Goat.
And
My
with
goat.
the 21st pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Max Ihanachor, tackle, Arizona State.
Now, I actually do not hate that pick because every time I've said for the last 3 years that they need to get protection, everyone keeps saying, oh, they got a great offensive line. They got names, but they weren't really protected very well.
We've spent a lot of capital, draft capital in the first and second rounds the past couple of years. We have some pretty good interior offensive linemen. Max will provide some backup because Broderick Jones, there's reports coming out his neck injury is not healing very well.
Right.
So if you take Frazier and Alame and so on and so forth, and you have a really strong nucleus for the interior line, and you pair them with a promising left tackle who pans out, you might really have something, and you might go from having an above average, because overall last year, by the end of the year, they did feel like they were a solid unit. There were some growing pains. There are a lot of rookies and second-year players, right?
Yeah.
And so let's just, to prove the point, if you pull up our depth chart, right, at we'll just go from right to left. Troy Fodeno was really good as a right tackle. He was a first-round pick 2 years ago. He missed almost all of his rookie year. Mason McCormick at right guard had a good year. He's playing pretty well. Zach Frazier at center had really overperformed. He's actually one of the best centers in football. Left guard Spencer Anderson is okay. He's, you're not really excited. It's nothing against him. He's slotted in to be the starter right now. And then Broderick Jones is the left tackle, and he has a really bad neck injury. I haven't really he's probably not going to be ready for week 1. So, and because he wasn't great last year, and I really like him. I liked him coming out of college. I like him as a dude, but his when he comes back, it's about make or break time, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
So you look at all of that and you see a solid offensive line. How do you make it great? How do you make it a strength? And hopefully Max can do it. I did not have a first round grade on him. I had, just full disclosure, I had him behind Blake Miller. However, a lot of the guys ahead of him,
holy shit, I got this pick right.
Were right tackles. Francis Mwagwe is a right tackle. Spencer Fanu is a pseudo left tackle. Caleb Lemieux is a raw left tackle. Same thing with Monroe Freeling to a point. So if I had broken it down to true left tackles versus right tackles, he would have been in there. I had him as an early second round pick. I'm not too upset about it, mostly because, well, if I'm just being blunt, a lot of people had him in the first round. So, I can be pretty happy about it. I had him, Steeler wish list. He was 8th on my wish list after Kevin Concepcion. So there you go.
With the 22nd pick,
I actually called this one. I actually got it right. Yay!
The Los Angeles Chargers select Akeem Mesidor, linebacker, Miami.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
I thought Akeem Mesidor, he was an outstanding player with Reuben Bain for the Hurricanes. But one of the questions was, were people going to worry about the age? He's 25 years old. Think about this. He's going to join his teammate, Tuli Tuipulotu, who's 23 years old. Tuli's could be up for a contract extension already. So he's very mature. But this guy plays. When I watch him, I wrote down werewolf on my paper.
I had the Cowboys taking Warren, so I don't know if that's going to happen.
On the edge, inside as well. And the Chargers like to move their
Of course, they don't really need safety, so. But I don't know. When I was reading up on them, it said they did, but maybe not. Or maybe I was just taking best player at that point. I don't remember.
Yeah, sorry, I'm still looking over at Max Hyanor. Let's see.
Was Max still graded as a first rounder?
Yeah, he was graded as a first to second rounder. He had a lot of first round grades on him. The other problem that I had with him making it into the first round is if he makes it in and another guy makes it in, you're now looking at 7 tackles, and that is a lot. Now, normally you see about 4 to 6 left tackles go in. But this year it's weird because a lot of them are really projected to be guards and right tackles. So the question was, does that mean we're going to push some of those guys into the second? I calculated wrongly. And I'm okay with that. Like I said, it's weird because I put him on the wish list, right?
Yeah.
At 8. but I didn't necessarily have him as a first rounder just because I didn't think he was going to crack in. Not that he was unworthy. So he's super athletic. He used to play football, or I'm sorry, he used to play football. He used to play college basketball. He's basically 6'6", 320 pounds. Let's see here. He's pretty fucking strong. Very athletic, which you would expect. Lateral quickness, which you would expect. Twitchy, which you would expect. He's got, let's see, this just off of Lance Zerline. Hitching his punch causes hands to ride outside the frame. Struggles with pet. He needs polish. He needs some technical polish and some coaching up. Actually, the more I look at this, I don't know how I didn't have a first-round grade on him. I'm washed. I suck.
No, it's like, but like you said, it's not that normal for them that many tackles to go in the first round, and so
yeah, specifically right
even
tackles.
for Denver's picks, like I don't have any offensive lineman, which normally is something I try to address, but because I thought it wasn't much after you got past that first batch, so the only 3 positions I took was tight end, running back, and wide receiver, and even wide receiver was like the last pick of the 7th round, so. I spent the rest of it on defense.
Yeah. Oh, real quick on Mesidor, since I unfairly skipped over him. It's a really awesome pick. He has the most pass rush moves out of any pass rusher. He's hyper technical. He missed some time in West Virginia and Miami. He's got shorter arms. He's only 6'3". We've talked about leverage and short arms for the left tackles, right tackles, and now pass rushers for him and Bain. He is a 25-year-old rookie. He gets knocked on some of his quote unquote speed to power conversion by pretty much everyone that I looked at. I like that he has some power and he has speed and finesse. The 25-year-old rookie thing is not ideal. So I do believe he will be. I just think he just kind of kept getting hurt. He's going to be a good player. I don't know if he's going to be a great player. I like it. I like it a lot. Wait, did the Dallas Cowboys trade with Philly?
They're listed at 23. Let me check my initial.
On the clock from Philly.
Yeah, because Philly was listed at 23, so now it's with the Cowboys, so they must have swapped somewhere. So I wonder how much they gave up.
Oh, okay. Eagles went up for Lemon. That's right. Sorry, I got caught in the existential crisis of my ability as an evaluator with Max. Thank you, Mo.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Mo. Thanks for clearing that up.
I appreciate you, big dog.
$27 million. The Cowboys do not intend to trade him this season, Rich.
Thank you, Ian Rappaport. So Pickens playing on the franchise tag. The Cowboys moved up one spot. They traded away 2 5s to do it, to make sure they got Caleb Downs. Then they traded down moments ago, got 2 4s from the Eagles, so they improved those picks to take this one.
With the 23rd pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Malachi Lawrence, defensive end, University of Central Florida.
You like those guys with the last name Lawrence.
I did not have a first round grade on him.
Neither did I. I don't think he was in there often.
I have TJ Parker ahead of him. I have Zion Young ahead of him.
Yeah, I have Parker in there. Parker was like the last edge that I had in the first round.
I had Cassius Howell ahead of him.
Oh, no, I did have Falk. Falk was going to be in there, but he hasn't been selected yet either. So.
Oh, and Falk, yeah. So Falk, I thought, yeah, you're right. Falk, I had Falk I had Falk ahead of him. I had Parker ahead of him. I had Howell ahead of him. I had Zion Young ahead of him. All right. But let's talk about what this kid does do well. His athleticism score was an 88 from NFL.com. And that is staggeringly high, like really, 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 really high. Here's his bio. He redshirted in 2021. He played 3 games in 2022. 2023 made the honorable mention Big 12 Conference. 2024, 15 tackles, 6 tackles for loss, 5 sacks, 11 game with 10 starts. Last year, 11 tackles for loss, 7 sacks. He does not have a track record of production. He does have really, really great talent. He's raw. He's a weird case where he was in college for 5 years, didn't produce a lot, looked good at times. The more I look at his body, okay. So this is why I'm starting to remember this now, because I had so many guys ahead of him. I didn't think there was a chance he was going to go in the first. He didn't really play against good teams, and so he didn't really get a lot of production, which is not a good combination. And he kind of gets pushed around physically. So they might have just drafted a physical freak who doesn't play like a physical freak. I don't know. To talk about what he can do, though, he's this term that I'm seeing used more and more and more. They're calling it suddenness. He's very sudden, which I just think it's a stupid term. But he's very explosive. He's an athlete. The other phrase that they talk about a lot now is going hunting for the quarterback, all that stuff. It just sounds very cringy to me. But he's tall, he's heavy, he's quick, he's fast. He should be a stud. If he had a better year this year, he probably would have been a top 15 pick. I'm just seeing a lot of lack of polish. I'm not seeing a lot of production in situations where he should have produced. I don't want to bag on him, but this is a head scratcher for me.
Now at 24, I had selected Kayla Lamu, the offensive tackle for the Browns. Am I way off, or is there just more talented players there for them to take now? Because you still have McCoy, you still have Kedrick Falk, Warren is still out there. But I think they do.
I had a tackle go to them.
Defense is not a bad. Like their defense is pretty good, actually.
Their defense is especially good if you consider that they're always on the field. I had Blake Miller. I had Blake Miller, a tackle, going to them at 24. So we agree on the position. Cleveland's been linked to tackles the entire process. So the best available tackles.
Although I wonder, because they traded down initially, I think, didn't they?
Yeah, they've moved around. Caleb is still on the board. Ginnings, or I don't know if it's Ginnings or Jennings, but Ginnings Dunker out of Iowa, he has first-round grades from some evaluators as well. I would not be shocked if they went wide receiver, though, because they have nothing there. So they don't have anything at wide receiver or tight end because they lost their longtime tight end. It's going to be offense. It has to be offense. I would guess tackle, though. You haven't taken a break yet? Do you need to get up and go?
I took it when you went, so I'm okay.
Okay.
Answer Fano anyway, so they've asked a 3 and a 5.
Sweet suit, by the way.
Oh, you like it, huh?
Okay, Bo. I looked at Malachi as a first rounder like months ago, and then never found a reason to move him up higher.
They got to be a receiver. They got to tackle, get the receiver.
But that's what they said coming in, right? Get a tackle, get a receiver.
Well, maybe they feel the same way about him as a lot of people felt about Banks. So
yeah, I mean, I'm happy for Malachi Lawrence. Like, it's dope for him.
The Cleveland Browns.
hey,
KC Concepcion.
Okay.
Wide receiver.
Yeah. Okay. It needed to be offense. That's a really awesome pick. They did really well there. They cooked. I have a lot of positives about Concepcion.
Trying to figure out which one of these receivers they liked in this range. This was the name that kept coming up, was Concepcion, because of the dynamic ability that he possessed. There's some drop issues in the last 2 years.
Okay. I'm going to give you better analysis than them anyway. So he is he can be a return specialist, so he gives you that nice wrinkle. He's an explosive yards after catch monster. He has special levels of twitch and burst that scream first round talent to me. His main concern is drops, and he's not a great route runner or a blocker. He's so talented. I don't think that it matters, and he runs routes at the same speed and isn't necessarily a technician. He can clean a lot of this up. Even if he's not going to be a talented route runner, there's nothing that's going to prevent him from being a solid professional wide receiver. His quickness is next level nasty. His highlights indicate that he has a lot of value in the red zone, which is always a plus. And for all the knocks on his route running, he catches a lot of passes for a lot of yards and converts a lot of touchdowns and first downs. He's the type of player who, if he falls to the right team, he could be a terror for the league. I wouldn't be shocked if the Chiefs move on from Rashee Rice for him, because the Rashee Rice stuff is still horrifying, or if the Eagles move on from AJ Brown for him. Now I think that they did with Mekhi Lemon, so I'm not doing too bad there. If he becomes a Chicago Bear, the value for that team or in that range is very high. Here's the next thing. However, he might be squandered if he goes to an unprofessional franchise who's drafting him for traits and not planning on coaching him up. So, Kevin, I'm so sorry, because you are a Cleveland. I'm happy you're a first rounder. I'm sorry you're a Cleveland Brown. You don't see the athleticism, or you don't see him as a first round player.
well, I did have him going to Steelers initially, so I mean, I guess
he was mocked a lot. I don't see it as a Cleveland Brown. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't have any faith in their ability to coach players who aren't polished. I don't have any faith in any of their quarterbacks. Unfortunately, that includes Shador at this point. I don't have,
especially if you were already up in the top 5 or 6. Like, you could have gone with a much better, like Jordan Tyson was out there at that point. So it's like, why ignore that? Like, I know they took Delaney, which is great, but they already had defense. So, are they the ones that took Delaney?
I would have taken tackle. I think the Concepcion pick is good. Like, they picked, TJ Parker to the Bears would be great. I'm really looking forward to the Bills picking.
Is that Bright's team, the Bears?
Yeah, that's Bright's team. Yeah. He's an Illinois boy, just like me. He's my best friend from Springfield. Well, he's my best friend, period, but he's my best friend. There's just a bunch of number 2s after those first 3, and do you want a number 2 in the first round? Yeah, I can see it. I don't know. I think Concepcion, a number 2 in the first round, I don't know if that's that bad anymore at wide receiver, because the position is so important for modern football, and because, I don't know, like, you need a guy in the slot, you need a guy to stretch the field, you need a lot of production from wide receivers. He kind of reminds me a little bit of I'll put it to you like this. I don't dislike this pick any more than I dislike the Jamison Williams pick from Detroit a couple years ago. I don't presume these guys, either of them, are going to be like 1,500-yard all-pro guys, but what they do and how they can twist a defense, I think, is really valuable.
So we still have McCoy out there, Thieneman, Emmanuel McNeil Warren. Of course, a lot of defensive players, corners. Denzel Boston, which I do have him going later, a few picks after here. Same with Cooper. Kedrick Fault. Is Kedrick Fault a surprise for you?
No. Kendrick Falk is arguably the most talented pass rusher. Someone has to go there. I mean, it is. I would say this, Mo. It's a pretty strong wide receiver class, and I think teams are really scared of. You remember the draft class with Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb and Judy and all of them. There are a lot of teams who said, well, there's even more wide receivers that we could take in the second round, and a lot of those guys either didn't make it to the second round or didn't pan out.
I will say it's bright that I had Chicago taking Peter Woods here.
TJ Parker.
Shush. What are you doing?
I wouldn't hate TJ Parker. I wouldn't hate Zion Young or Falk.
Oh, there you go. It's not who he wanted, but
it's but the other thing was, I was just gonna say, I saw who picked it. Safeties. A lot of people have been drafting Thieneman or McNeil Warren to the Bears.
A third rounder from the Bills back. 91st overall.
Let's focus on the Bears right now. Yeah, the Chicago team, when you're looking at it, was going through some of my notes. There was talk they were trying to trade up. When I heard that, I thought tackle. There's not many tackles left. You've got Romer, who's the only one left here. So
all right, let's see here. Thieneman.
Thieneman.
I think that's how you say it. Here we go.
Yeah, McNeil Warren and Thieneman.
Here's Roger Goodell.
With the 25th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears select Dylan Thieneman.
Thieneman, okay.
Defensive back, Oregon.
All right, so here are my thoughts on him. I have a late first-round grade on him. 25, that counts. I worry a bit about him in man coverage, but I don't see why he couldn't do it. I like his 8 interceptions in 3 seasons. I also think doing it on a team with a bad defense like Oregon's is particularly impressive. He is a prime candidate to be overdrafted if he's a top 20 pick. Something went wrong. If he's in the mid 20s on out, the value is right. He probably is a little less limited than Emmanuel McNeil Warren in some evaluators' eyes. Thieneman is I'm trying to say this without like overstating it. Thieneman is a guy who he's going to I view him as a guy who year in, year out, he's going to be good. I'm not gonna lie, just because my boys team drafted him and say that he's the next coming of Ed Reed, but I did view him as a first round safety. The ball hawking skills, the competitiveness, those are all things that you really, really want in a safety. And I want to make sure I get my facts right, so I'm going to double check.
Oregon was surprised defensively, and so was Indiana.
Let's see here. Okay, so I just wanted to double check here. The 306 tackles in 3 seasons on that shitty defense, that means he's cleaning up a lot of people's mistakes.
Yeah.
The production is there. The other thing is that, and this is not my words. This is from Lance Zerling from NFL.com. The size athleticism combination to play all 3 safety positions. He's going to be really, really versatile. The knock on his coverage, well, I'll say it like this. If he was better in man coverage, they would have talked about him kind of the way that they talked about Caleb Downs. I will also say this. You don't ask a whole lot of safeties to play man coverage. I think that he can guard some running backs. I think he can guard some tight ends. I think he can be serviceable in that. Yeah, okay. So Mo, as soon as I said it, I will say this. I think that they had a shitty defense historically have a shitty defense. I think they've had shitty defenses throughout his tenure there. But yes, you're right. Everybody had a shitty defense against Indiana. That is fair.
Of course.
I still don't know what a quarterback is, though.
So, Mo, what is your biggest surprise so far in the first round? It's probably that Dallas pick.
That Dallas pick threw me for a fucking loop.
Ooh, a trade.
Ooh.
Who's trading, though?
The Texans from Buffalo. So the Texans are going to pick.
Oh, so okay. So the Texans are coming in with their pick. I got it. Oh, okay. I didn't see this either, but hey.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I didn't see that one coming.
Oh, no. Oh,
yes.
That is fucking bad.
That's great.
I'm going to grab a Diet Coke and
first
contemplate
choice
for a
tonight.
moment.
They've signed Willie Anderson to a massive deal. Will Anderson to a massive deal. Let's see what they do now.
With the 26th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Houston Texans select Keelan Rutledge, guard, Georgia Tech.
One of my favorite players. I got asked by a lot of folks who my
That's
favorite
my
player
favorite
was in the
player.
draft, and this was my answer, CD. So we're singing the same song here because of how this dude finishes. Just watch the strain to finish. That's a scouting term we like to throw out there. I just want to show that.
We talked about, you remember when I said that
Well,
I had
this
a
is
second round?
true. One thing about Georgia Tech is, especially on offense, they knew how to run the ball like a lot, and it's very frustrating trying to defend them because as a Virginia fan, they were a pain in the fucking ass to try to defend.
I didn't have a first round grade on him, and I will say this: if they traded up to get him, then maybe another team wanted him. So I will give them the benefit of the doubt on that. I had a second round grade on him. A lot of people had a second round grade on him. I'm not going to sit here and bag on the kid. I don't really like the pick. But here's the bright side. There are bright sides to him. So let's just
I had them taking McDonald's, so what do I know?
Yeah. He's really strong. So he's got that good guard strength. He's got some game to him. He's got good hands. He's really strong. And he maintains hard connection when moving with rush attempts on his edge. This is from Lance Zierlein again. I'm not going to look at him for the weaknesses. I'll just tell you why I didn't necessarily have a first round grade on him. I didn't see a guy who was impactful enough, just period. I didn't see a guy who was really changing. If I'm taking a guard in the first round, I want a guy who is exceptional at something. Ideally, you'd have the perfect player, right? And he's great at everything. I did not see a guy who was going to just stymie the pass rush, and I didn't see a guy who was going to really unlock a running game. So, I don't want to take anything away from the young man. Clearly, they traded up to get him, so somebody else wanted him. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of faith that the Texans have not done well drafting offensive linemen either.
Yeah, it's true. But you do have a fairly young quarterback that you need to make sure is still upright.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they need. That's my fear, is that this was a desperation pick, that they were like, oh God, we're going to lose. We're going to lose out. I mean, you know what? But here's the thing too. If he's not going to, if he wasn't asked to do a lot of traditional pass pro, that doesn't mean, just because you haven't been asked to do something doesn't mean that you can't do it. So if they worked him out and they saw the ability to do that, that's going to be something that we're not going to see on tape, that they're going to know. The other thing is maybe they can live with the fact that he's average in pass pro and they just want to run the ball. And trust me, I get it. With that defense, I'd want to run the ball too.
Now, these are my next picks to finish out the first round. I had Amari Cooper Jr. going initially just 49ers, which, they moved out and Miami's in spot now. I had 28 TJ Parker going to the Bills, and Denzel Boston going to the Chiefs. And then at 30, I don't know if that was initially the Niners there. It was actually Miami, so they swapped with the Niners. But I had Avian Terrell going to Miami initially, and then Sadiq was going to the Patriots, and then, of course, Jadarian Price was going to go to the Seahawks.
Yeah. I have, at 27, I had the Niners taking Concepcion. I had the Texans taking Peter Woods. I had the Chiefs taking Omar Cooper. I didn't know they were going to trade, right? I had Miami taking Messidor, New England taking Parker, and Seattle taking either Jadarian Price or McDonald for tackle.
Jalen Waddle to Denver, so we'll see who they turn Jalen Waddle into, if you will.
Wow, this was a surprise to me, too.
With the 27th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins select Chris Johnson.
Now that's really interesting.
San Diego State.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
And they take
I like that, actually. So I might be in the minority. I don't hate this. I don't hate this at all.
Strong. Think about Tre'Davious White and how long he's played in this league, and how.
All right. So we were talking earlier in the show about the corners after the cat from LSU, right?
Mm-hmm.
The guy that I had at the highest grade after him was McCoy.
Right.
And then some mocks had Colton Hood, who came in into the first round, and some other mocks also had Chris Johnson. Some mocks had all four. There's kind of a combination. Most mocks had Gerard McCoy going.
So there was another trade. So the Patriots went from 31 to 28, so they're on the clock now.
That is interesting. So Chris Johnson is a guy that I had a very high second round grade on, late first round grade. I would have had him probably taken in the first 5 picks in the second round. If you like the way that he plays, if you like that physicality, if you think he can keep the penalties off, if you believe in the talent and a little bit of the film, then he's not that much of a stretch. So I am surprised that Hood or McCoy didn't go before him, but late in the first, early in the second is where I had him. It's not bad, in my opinion.
Right. Oh, okay. So I got not right, but actually probably a good pick.
Okay. I haven't seen who it is, but if the Patriots trade it up, it's either for a wide receiver or a guard or a tackle, O-line or wide.
Yep.
Blowing me up from the Commonwealth here.
Hey, can you hold on for a second? I got another call.
Got to protect their investment.
Oh, you got the call from the Eagles, and that's the one that matters because they made the trade with the Cowboys of all teams. The Patriots, by the way, just traded up with this for this pick with the Bills, who just moved down twice. So the Patriots with their first pick, the AFC champion Patriots on the clock. No more.
With the 28th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the New England Patriots select Caleb Lomu, tackle, Utah.
They're all gone.
All right. Here's my write-up on Caleb. He played as a left tackle in college, but he's a little raw. He has to gain strength. His pass protection should be pretty good in the pro. His run blocking isn't great, but some of that is mechanics. And if he is a true left tackle, you might just have to learn to deal with that. He has shorter arms, which is something. And given the demise of Will Campbell in the Super Bowl, that is going to put off some teams. I view him as a right tackle to begin with before transitioning to left tackle. Eventually, hopefully he can Tristan Wirfs it, my favorite tackle in football right now. His high pad level play is not doing him favors. So I'll be interested to see where they put him. It'll be interesting to see if he is the right tackle, if they move him to left tackle. I'm guessing right tackle. I agree with that, Mo. I'm guessing they put him at right tackle. They hope that Campbell gets better at left tackle, and if they have to swap, then eventually they will. I had him. Where did I have him going? After a while, the teams start to blur together. I had him going 23rd to the Eagles, so for them to get him back there is pretty good. Yeah, no, I know Campbell was hurt. I think that the media has done a hit job on Will Campbell, to be honest. But that's a different rant for another day. I think it's a good. I don't know if they had the trade for him. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out in like 2 months from now when none of this matters. Like all the rumors about what did or didn't happen.
Yeah. Well, I did have Lemieux going in the first, but I was up around 24. So
yeah. He's a good player. I think he'll be good in the pros. I will say having some left tackle experience in college will only help him.
So Mo, who do you see as taking at 62?
The Chiefs are picking in our spot now.
Fuck the Chiefs.
I love Mahomes.
Yeah, he's a great player. I still hate the Chiefs. I don't care.
No, I mean, I get it. I love Lamar, but I fucking hate the Ravens, right? Like, it just kind of is what it is.
Actually, I do have Boston going here. That is my pick.
Boston makes a lot of sense. I had the Chiefs taking Omar Cooper Jr.
Well, he's still out there as well.
Yeah. I have Boston a little bit higher than Cooper, though. Boston's a really good player.
Yeah, I actually had us in my mock taking Max Clary, the tight end.
Yeah.
But that's only because the other guy wasn't there from Iowa, I think.
I will say my wide receiver rankings were 1A was Tyson, Tate, Lemon, and then Boston. So I should actually be a little bit harder on the Browns for taking Concepcion over Boston. I have a lot to say about Boston. I hope it's him. This draft, the time reduction has really sped this up.
Big time. Because I think last time we were there till like midnight.
Yeah. There's some good players left. McCoy's out there. McNeil Warren's out there. Avion Terrell is another corner out there.
Yeah.
Then you have Boston Cooper Jr. You got Falk, Caden McDonald, Peter Woods, and Zion Young.
Is Falk a surprise to drop this far? Because like we
Yeah, a little
both kind
bit. Yeah, a little bit. I mean, he was mocked in the late teens to early 20s consistently.
So most think they might take Falk here.
Falk was commonly mocked to the Cowboys at 20.
Oh, didn't see that, but that's not a bad pick, but not what I expected either.
Oh, okay. They took
Mr. Woods. Mr. Woods.
I don't hate it.
I still think they need more offense, but maybe they were figuring defenses.
The Jets are moving back in to take their third first round.
Okay. I did a really high. Yeah.
The
Okay.
Chiefs is coming up right now. This was originally the pick held by the Rams, who sent this to Kansas City when the Rams acquired and then paid Trent McDuffie. I think I've given you all the ins and the outs here, but here's the Chiefs' second pick of the night to go with Mansour Delane.
With the 29th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select Peter Woods, defensive tackle, Clemson.
All right, I have a write up on him.
Peter Woods, this is a team.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah, I like how he's in black and everyone else is in white.
So
he's like, I need to stand out. I don't want anybody dressing like me.
It's his day,
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's their day too, because a lot of them are there with him. He's slightly undersized, but I don't think it really matters. He collapses the pocket and has a lot of disruption in his tape and gameplay. I comp him to a slightly taller, slightly lighter Geno Atkins. Scouting reports talk about how he can play between the 4.3 or the 3.4. I think he's a better fit in the 43, but he would be fine in the 3.4. There's a lot of debate about how polished he is and how many moves he had as a pass rusher. That was kind of all over the place. My eyes tell me he doesn't have a ton of moves, but to quote Lance Zierlein, he is a brawler, and that fits. He never gives up on a play. He runs down quarterbacks and running backs from behind. I think he's actually pretty fast for a bigger guy. His flaws are I've seen him overrun some plays too. I close it out with I see a first rounder, I see a day one starter or a heavy rotational guy. I don't see anything that isn't fixable. The only thing about his gameplay that I don't really like is I think he freelances a bit, and you can't do that in modern football. He's a very good player. And if he had that same tape and he weighed 10 pounds more, he would have been picked higher. I really like Peter Woods. I still technically had him slightly above of Caleb, and you know how I feel about Caleb Banks. So that's a really good pick.
To that Packer fan by a Bronco fan or like this
Other people.
There's Jaguars that didn't have one, right? The Jets now have three. The Jets now have three. You mentioned Morgan Moses moments ago. The fifth-round compensatory pick the Jets got, losing Moses to free agency to New England, was the pick they just used to flip to San Francisco to move back into the first round and get a fifth-year contractual control on a third player in this first round. They no longer hold the first pick tomorrow night. That now belongs to San Francisco.
Nobody ties a bow like Rich Eisen. You were able to pull all this
standing.
Well, Jack Andrews is helping me out.
Can he make me right on my prediction for who they were going to take?
We were here a few years ago when they had 3 in the first round when Joe Douglas traded back in.
With the 30th pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Omar Cooper Jr., wide receiver, Indiana.
You don't ask for a lot, Rich, right?
You were right. You had him taking him 16. Now,
Okay. Him falling there to 30 is wonderful for him. I'm not going to go too much into Cooper's game. He's a very high-profile player, especially with Indiana. I will say this about him. I have him graded a little bit lower than Boston. I would have preferred they take Boston. With that being said, Cooper is a first-round wide receiver. He's a very, very good player. He's a very mature player. He actually might help stabilize the chaos of that team. It's a solid pick. I really thought he would have been taken higher. It's a good.
I didn't have him much higher. I had him around 27, but
I had him going to the Chiefs at 29. But when I saw how some of the draft class shook out, I thought that okay, there's going to be wide receivers popping up. Like around the time, by the time that we got to the by the time that we got to about 20, I thought, okay, Cooper and Denzel is going to go. So we'll see. We'll see. It's a good pick. I don't know why Boston's dropping. Maybe there's something about his medical or something.
I don't know, but the Titans just traded out with Buffalo for the number 30th picks.
Okay, all right. I got to uncork this rant. I hate the Buffalo Bills GM. I think he is a fool. I think he is a fool. When he was here 2 years ago, he went off on the radio host about them not having wide receivers. And he's like, well, we had all these touchdowns. It's like, yes, Josh Allen ran for a bunch. He threw for a bunch to peasants. And James Cook rushed for like 15 or 20 or whatever the absurd number was. Now, they did go out and they did trade for a real wide receiver, one of my more liked wide receivers from Chicago. And I understand that. But they keep trading back and back and back. And they're acting like they're the Patriots when the Patriots did it. You know what the Patriots had when they kept trading back and back and back, other than bad draft picks because Bill wasn't a great GM? They had Super Bowl rings. You haven't won anything. You haven't won anything, buddy. You haven't. And there's good players in the second round. There's good players to be had, but your roster isn't talented. It's not a good roster. Your defense sucks. Is there a single player on their defense who is top 3 at their position? No, not even Cleveland can make that shitty fucking boast. So it drives me insane when teams trade back because to me, I feel like they're trading back because they think, well, that's what the smart teams do. The smart teams trade back, and then they take more players, and that's good.
Well, it is if you're like the Ravens, who have a history of drafting very well and late,
right?
Maximizing their draft picks. So
that's right. I completely agree with that. They don't. And
the Bills didn't stick in.
Boggles my mind how they consistently do the silliest things in drafting.
The last team to just have their pick and stick with it was the Bears 25th. We'll see if Seattle's going to be the first one since then, but we'll see who the Titans have traded back in. Long time ago, the biggest.
What do they need?
One would say,
So got
mile up going 3. That wasn't
Falk,
terribly of a surprise.
Boston.
Falk would be good. The safety,
Parker's
yeah.
still there.
Boston would be really good for them too. A wide receiver at the end of the first would be good. I want them to take Boston or someone in the secondary.
Oh, all right. So here we go.
Pittsburgh, before the Titans pick, congratulations, you set a record for the first night of the draft. 320,000 people here tonight. Congratulations, Pittsburgh.
Boo, boo.
Lombardi check.
With the 31st pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select Keldrick Falk, defensive end, Auburn.
All right.
On that CD, thinking about pass rushers. To me, that's right about where I thought he belonged to. He's my 29th overall.
Okay.
All right. So give us the breakdown.
Falk is let's see here. Yeah, if you want a guy with great tools and a lot of but has some things to work on, this is your guy. He's incredibly young but does have a lot of experience. Probably needs to refine his moves a little bit, but his size and weight remind me of Carlos Dunlap. So I won't go over all of that again. I read it out earlier, but I do want to emphasize this. His talent level is astronomically high. He might be the most physically gifted pass rusher next to Reese, if you view Reese as a pass rusher. A guy like this used to fall into the second or the third round.
Actually,
For the analysis on the Titans, 10 out of 10, banger, absolute classic. Falk, I thought he was going to go in the late teens to early 20s. For the Falcons to get him at 30, even though they had to trade around to get him, is really good. You know, a team that could have used a dynamic pass rush talent and schemed him up some good runs at the quarterback, a team that didn't have a good defense last year, it could have been the Bills.
Yep.
Do you know a team that could use a wide receiver like Denzel Boston, who does not have a team that does not have a lot of talent on offense? Would have been the Bills.
Yeah, I don't know what they're thinking. Either they think they're going to stack up in the late rounds with stuff, and maybe how's their salary cap?
Oh, let's see here. Bills. So they had to. I thought they took their lumps last year, and they were okay this year. Brandon Bean, you are a dumbass. No, apparently their salary cap, it should be better next year. I think it's still kind of cooked this year. Yeah, because I think they had to eat the Von Miller cap hit. But look, I like trading back and I like getting good players and all of that. And I'm not saying that they're wrong necessarily to do it. I'm just saying that I don't have a lot of faith in this GM. And the first time I looked at him, the first time I thought, oh, that's weird, is when they took Kincaid, when there were wide receivers on the board and they needed a wide receiver. They were going to move him around as a slot and kind of use him as a wide receiver. He had a good rookie year. So it's like, oh, okay. Then the team didn't really use him that way, and he's been fine, but he hasn't been really as good as you would have thought. You have him fighting with the head coach, them throwing one another under the bus. The head coach McDermott saying, and reportedly saying that this team doesn't have enough talent. Then he gets fired. There is a power struggle in Buffalo that he won, and it seems to me that he's oblivious of the roster flaws, and it seems to me that he's high on his own supply of drafting Josh Allen. And make no mistake, luck does exist. If he picked Josh Allen because fast and arm strength go far, and it worked out, it doesn't mean his logic was good. It means that something good happened on an unlikely slot for him. I can bet all my money on the roulette table and I might win. That doesn't mean it's a good idea.
Right.
And now I can invest all my money, and that might be a good idea. That's kind of the difference. I don't like this. There are too many good players on the board that could help them now. If they didn't want to take Falk because he's a bit of a project, that's fine. They need a second wide receiver. They need cornerbacks.
Their defense was atrocious.
McDonald is a defensive tackle. They could use help there. Boston at wide receiver. McNeil Warren at safety. Averion Terrell at corner. You have Basantis at guard. They could Cassius Howell at edge. Not all of these guys are guaranteed to be there when you pick. These are all guys who have late first, early second round picks. Do you think you're going to be able to get all of them? I don't get it. I don't get it. And if they're the team that drafts Zachariah Branch, I will lose my fucking mind, by the way. What all capital have the Bills picked up thus far?
I don't know. Like, have they picked up anything? As far as draft picks?
Yeah.
Did he only have one pick in the first round?
All right, let's see here. Hey Mo, can you look up, if you're still around, can you look up what they grabbed?
2026 NFL Draft. We're proud to continue recognizing our long-standing partnership with Make-A-Wish this World Wish Month. I'm thrilled to be joined by Dylan, a huge fan of the Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks.
Hey, you got another one
who bravely
right.
battled a brain tumor and is now a two-time cancer survivor.
Mo, do you know what the Bills have gotten for all their trade
This
backs?
is a wish come true for Dylan and a chance to take part in one of the most exciting moments in our league. Dylan, when you're ready, stage is yours.
What's going on, Pittsburgh? Yeah. I'm so excited to be here to represent the 12s. Oh, and the reigning Super Bowl champion, Seattle.
Oh God, kids, you don't have to put the microphone in your mouth.
He was just really excited.
I mean, I get it.
With the 32nd pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Jadarian Price.
There it is.
There we go. All right.
Sometimes it just fits, and Seattle didn't get out, right? Didn't move back in the draft. Sometimes it just fits, DJ.
Yeah, the running back position fell off a cliff after this one. There's going to be a long wait before we see another one. Vision, balance. You saw the kickoff return value there at Notre Dame as well. Look, he had to play second fiddle to Jeremiah Love, but this is a real deal.
Yeah, that's a really good player. It fits. It makes sense. The value's there. He also has that power run game that kind of fits that Seattle culture. What they like to do. I don't know if last year, if he was the main back for Notre Dame, it would have been interesting to see what his production would have been and where he would have fallen in the draft. I think that a late first round grade on him is pretty fair. So at the end of the day, I'm not going to go so far as to say that he's going to be their immediate starter. They really like Charbonnet. Charbonnet's good. But I would not be shocked if in the not so distant future, he's the one who's getting the bulk of the carries.
So, all right. So Buffalo. See, they're not giving me the full. I'll try this. Ooh, let's see. All right, so Buffalo, they have the third pick in the second round, second pick in the third round, first pick in the fourth, 25th in the fourth, 26th in the fourth, 27th in the fifth, 28th in the fifth, first in the sixth, and then fourth in the seventh.
Okay, so the Buffalo Bills made a trade with the Houston Texans in round one. They traded back in the first round, giving the Texans its number 26th pick. The Bills gave away their third round number 91 in return. They picked up Houston's 28th, 69th, and 168th. These are the first, third, and fifth rounds, respectively. I was expecting to see multiple. I was expecting them to have more than one second and third round pick. Mo, what do you? Okay, chat. What do y'all think about Buffalo's trades? Am I crashing out for no fucking reason? Because I don't think I am. Yeah, I would rather have the guys in the first round than have. I mean, there are guys who can actually help you this year.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess they're just gonna take their chances, and yeah, they had the third pick in the second round, I think.
Did they not have a second rounder this year?
Maybe not, since it's
Did they
just
trade?
the one.
Yeah, I don't know. I won't lie. There are. All right, I'm going to pull up their roster right now, just to. Let's pull up their depth chart. Okay. Oh, they're hitting me with it. Will be announced at a later date. Yeah, let's do this. 1 second. Okay, I'm going to go over their depth chart. Hey, thanks, Bright Roar. You got Josh Allen. That's pretty good. You got James Cook. That's pretty good. You got DJ Moore. Hey, that's pretty good. You got Khalil Shakir. That's a number 3 wide receiver. You got Joshua Palmer. What do I think of Palmer? Yep, no, he's a guy. You have
He's a guy.
He's not been dynamic. He's not been his best season early as a rookie. He's an above average tight end. You have Deion Dawkins. He's a great left tackle. You have Alec Anderson, Connor McGovern, Osiris Torrance, Spencer Brown. Those are guys who play football. You have one outstanding offensive. Let's go to their base defense. Stop me when you hear a player whose name makes you go, yeah, he's a Pro Bowl-ish type of guy. TJ Sanders, Deion Walker, Ed Oliver. Okay, maybe Ed Oliver, right? There's some name recognition there. Greg Rousseau. The most sacks he's ever had in a season is 8. He did it twice. He's a good player. He was a late first-round pick for them. He's a good player. He's not a Pro Bowl caliber player. They got Bradley Chubb, and he's going to be awesome for 8 games. Christian, I don't know who that is. I don't know who Cole Bishop is. I don't know who Geno Stone is. Dorian Strong has a
Bishop
cool name.
drafted recently, I think.
And C.J. Gardner-Johnson is a man that exists. Their defense sucks. They don't have good players on their defense. They have 3 good players on their offense. Now, it's a hell of a 3. Josh, Deion, and the James Cook, my running back, one of the guys I get to claim. That's it. 4 with the wide receiver. 4. They have 4 good players. Okay. Let's go over the teams that they're competing with in the AFC. Let's just do the AFC.
Patriots.
Okay, yeah, you have the Patriots who might be really, really good. The Chiefs, I'm going to leave them out of it because of the ACL. But I will say this: look at the depleted. We're talking about how depleted the Ravens roster is, and their roster is way better than Buffalo's. Okay.
Well, that's what I mean. It's like, the Chiefs, despite some of their issues, like they're well coached.
They have. If Mahomes is healthy, 100%. I'm being kind and not throwing the Chiefs in. Okay, you got Denver has an excellent roster. The Jaguars have a really good fucking
Chargers.
Roster. The Ravens have a good roster. The Chargers have a good roster. You're getting left behind. The Texans have a strange roster, but I think it's better than Buffalo's, especially on defense. I don't know what they're doing. I don't understand.
They're trying to do what the Patriots did for so long, but like you said, they don't have the rings to back it up. So they think they're like smarter than everybody else in the room, but it's not really working out so far.
I have hated I will continue to make a point. 1 second. Buffalo Bills first round picks by year. Okay. I believe this GM's first pick in the first round was Josh Allen. That's a pretty good pick. Ed Oliver, that's fine. Ed Oliver has been good. Greg Rousseau is fine. That's a good pass rusher. Okay. All right. That's fine. Okay. They didn't necessarily hey, take care, Mo. Khalil Alam, that didn't work out. Dalton Kincaid, that's not doing great. Maxwell Hairston, that's not working out. So if you can only hit 1 out of every 4 times at the back end of the first, or if you're picking in the top 10, what are you doing? I don't know. I don't like it.
Yeah, it's a lost cause.
I
maybe
don't like it.
Maybe next week we'll get back and try to go back and talk about the draft some more a little bit.
Are you free on Wednesdays?
Yeah.
We might have to. Let's do it next Wednesday.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we'll just kind of recap everything.
Yeah. Well, I want to see what's going to happen with it. It feels like AJ Brown has to be traded now.
Yeah.
So, thank you to our viewers. We really enjoy you. We love the interaction. We had a lot of fun. We love doing this every year. It's our tradition. We'll try to do some more Poetic Carnage for football covers a little bit more this year than last year. Last year was just a busy year for both of us. You're the reason why we do it. Thank you so much.
Yep.
People would have. Yeah. Oh yeah, we're doing the replay. Yeah. You have anything else to add, my brother?
No, I think that's good. I mean, like I said, well, we should try to, we do try to do as much as we can, but obviously last year was a pretty busy year. But next week, Wednesday, in fact, we can do it live if you want, just to have people go over and talk about the choices that our teams have made, and
we can do it live.
We can gripe some more about some of the other teams, like Buffalo.
I just can't. I'll have to double check to see if they had a second round pick coming into this, but I just don't. I know what Mo said. Like, the argument is there's going to be guys who are similar. I don't know. I think that they left some meat on the bone there, because I'm seeing a lot. I'm seeing some names that were being mocked in the early 20s, the mid 20s, even a couple in the late teens. I understand beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and there is a little bit more guesswork this draft class than others, but I don't like what they're cooking over there in Buffalo, which is crazy.
Yeah, because there was like a lot, like, even though stuff like wide receiver is kind of deep, but there's just still a lot of like drop offs after you get past like the first 3 or 4 guys. Like, it just really falls, and you're really taking a big risk at that point to try to maximize your picks and stuff like that. So, but we'll see how they work it, because Buffalo, man, they need a lot of help. And if I'm Josh Allen, I'm scared of what's going on over there, especially after how emotional he was after the playoff loss.
Yeah. I'm going to go over the best available just real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Jermod McCoy.
Yep.
Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. I had first-round grades on both of them. Denzel Boston. I had a first-round grade on both of him, on him as well. Zion Young, I had an early second-round pick, but there are evaluators far better than I that had a first-round grade on him. Same thing for Caden McDaniel and Averion Terrell. So they're picking early in the second round. I guess you can grab one of those guys.
Well, they have the third pick in the second round, but I mean, again, what if they trade back again?
Yeah. What if they trade back again? I can't really believe that they didn't just take Denzel Boston. It's like the amount of times I'm just screaming at them to take the wide receiver.
Well,
Take
you and I
Denzel.
did this the last couple of years too when it came to like, even though they have like Cook, like for a long time they had, what was it, Singleton. Like it's like he wasn't really the kind of guy that's going to carry their team. So I was kept like, you need a running back,
You get a running back. Yeah, get and I think at the start of Josh's career, they did have a good offensive line. And so I don't know if they think that, well, that now that Josh is a big time player, we can let it slide because he's big and fast. I don't know.
Well, sometimes you can. We've seen Mahomes do that shit and all that. But
Big
like,
Ben, you don't
what
wanna-
happens is, and now it's happening with Lamar because Lamar can only get you so far before he gets too old to be running around like a 20-year-old.
And he actually played more in the pocket this year.
Which was good, but like, but that was expected. We knew that was going to happen. Like, if you didn't get to the promised land within the first 3 to 4 years with Lamar, then you have to start rethinking.
Yeah, and they
same things happen with Josh, and it's going to happen with Mahomes too because he just got hurt. So Mahomes has got to rethink himself now. It's like, all right, I can't be that dumb anymore and start thinking I can take on 50.
Mahomes doesn't even run around crazy anymore. He stopped doing that when he hurt his knee. Like they don't do QB sneaks for them unless it's the playoffs or when to get in. And I just look at this area and I'm like, I'm looking at these good players and I'm looking at a team and win now, and I'm asking myself, why aren't they trying to get, I don't know, why aren't they trying to get Denzel Boston, who can help them right now? Why aren't they trying to get Emmanuel McNeil Warren?
Now maybe they take Boston at the third spot.
If he's there, look, if he's there in the third spot, that's really good. And I'll tip my hat to that. But I'm just, it's hard for me to believe that they knew that Boston, and he's the one that I'm focusing on because I went over those wide receivers. There's not a whole Khalil Shakir. We had hoped would be a little bit better than what he is. He's a week 2. He's a good number 3. That's what he is. And I don't know, man. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I am too hell-bent. Maybe it's because I don't like the GM. I don't think he does a good job, and I think he's kind of an ass.
No, it's not a bias because I see the same thing. Like I see the frustration that's going to end up happening with Josh. It's like you're wasting a great quarterback because unlike Mahomes has gotten 3 rings and he's been to like 4 or 5 Super Bowls. So like he's done his job.
Yeah.
As a team, they've done their job. But right now, Buffalo, they keep talking about, it's Buffalo's year. And so, yeah, Denver squeaked by them, but that was a game that you can tell they didn't want to lose. They didn't want to lose to Denver despite having to go there. So, like, Josh, you can tell he knows the time and the clock is ticking.
It is ticking, and he gets hurt every year. And it's not, I'm not saying that he's fragile or anything. I'm just saying that the way that he plays, he avoids a lot of damage. But because he's the size of he's basically the size of a refrigerator, but football Jesus. And so you're going to get hit sometimes too. And then there's just the natural times where you're just going to get hit, period. Like the guard blows the assignment, the blitz gets home, whatever. Shit happens. I look at what they're doing, and it just doesn't make sense to me. I don't see a coherent plan.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced. I am convinced. I'm convinced that they sat down, they said, smart teams trade back. A lot of other teams want to trade back, so we're going to keep trading back. What happens if you don't trade back, you take a really good player, maybe a player who wasn't there when you traded back, and then what happens if you trade up? What if we're talking about the draft class where they took a guy at their original draft position and then traded up and got another really good player?
Yeah,
somebody that was drafted afterwards.
Someone who thought they had it figured out too was Josh McDaniels when he was in Denver. He tried to use the same blueprint that Bill Belichick used to draft back, and he picked some of the worst fucking possible players, and it didn't work out. This is why it really comes down to the coach and the organization, but also like the Ravens are very good at that stuff. But the Ravens also are the type of team that even if they're sitting at 28 will take the best player, even if they don't need him, they will take the best player available because they know it's going to be a difference maker. And so
they know he's going to be a difference maker. Now I don't need you now, but in 2 years when the older pass rusher is going to get that last big contract, I don't have to pay him. Or I put you both on the fucking field and then it's dynamic. The Ravens will also stick and pick. They are notorious for saying, look, some teams are really going to fuck up and they're going to do weird stuff, or they're going to make picks that only make sense to them and people are going to fall. You have the chaos of the draft. You have trades that shake things up or whatever. We're just going to take the best player available. And there is some luck. It is kind of crazy that Vega, a guard, was still there with this weird tackle class, because we've seen guards get picked kind of high. But like, I'm just looking at players that Buffalo could have used.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm seeing a decent amount of them.
Yeah.
Right now that they
and
could
they
have had
on both sides of the ball.
They were really a stronger candidate to me. I had hoped that they were going to pick and then trade back in and try to get more of the talent, because I don't, and this is just opinion, I can't prove it. I know that there are a lot of guys like the Peter Schrager thing. After 20, it's all a bunch of second-round picks. But I don't necessarily agree with that. I had a first-round grade on Caleb Lamo. I had a first-round grade on Peter Woods. I had a first-round grade on not Keelan Rutledge. That one's a head-scratcher to me. But Dylan Thinneman, right? All of these guys. And so, look, we'll see. Maybe they know something that we don't. But I will tell you this. If this works out for them, it will be the first time the draft has worked out for them in about 4 years.
Yeah. But that's also what you said. It's like, it's just because of the past history that we don't have much faith in that.
Yeah, I don't have a whole. And then did you just get lucky again? This will be the last thing that I do. Bill's second round picks by year. Let me come on, Pro Football. I'm not a bot. I promise. Okay. Let's see here. Last year, TJ Sanders, Cole Bishop, Osiris Torrance, James Cook. That was good. Boogie Basham. Sounds like a pro wrestler. Zach Moss, Cody Ford, Tremaine Edmonds. Okay. Oh my God. They can't pick in the second or third round. Last year, Landon Jackson, Dwayne Carter, this is a third rounder, another third, Dorian Williams, Terrell Bernard, Spencer Brown, I guess, is okay. Gabe Davis was okay for a while. Devin Singletary and Dawson Knox. Okay. You got to go back to 2019, and that might be before this guy's time, to be fair. But like, this guy sucks. This guy is a shitty drafter. No, yeah. Oh, and I think he inherited. Like, I know that they went all in a couple times and kept kicking the can down for the salary cap road, and they had free agent signings and stuff. I'm pretty sure that a lot of their better players that had those loaded rosters came through trades and free agent signings. I don't think this. Yeah, I'm done talking about Buffalo. I'm done talking about Buffalo. All right, we're done with that. Buffalo, because they blow.
All right. Well, I gotta get up early in the morning.
Yeah, I gotta text some single moms. I'll take care. Y'all take care. I love y'all. We'll see y'all next week.
Yep. Enjoy the rest of your night, folks. Thanks for hanging out and tuning in.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
And give your comments on how you felt about the draft.
Support my man. Is the hardest working man on the internet who doesn't have an OnlyFans yet.
Later, everybody. Take care.
Take care, y'all.
You're fucking